What is going on, everybody? How we doing today? We have a nice Saturday. All right. Actually, first off, I hope you're doing well. I hope you're doing well. Now, with that out of the way, it is Saturday night. All right. It is a beautiful Saturday night, and there's actually a good UFC card on for the first time in a long time. I'm talking like, well, actually, I feel like there was an all right card. I feel like there was a decent card on like a few weeks ago, maybe like 2, 3 weeks ago. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna move my mic so that you guys can hear me a little bit better. Hopefully, anyway. But what is going on, Practical Thumb? What is going on, Zachary Barrett? What is going on, my yoga the flea? Watching on Twitch, Twitter, watching on Twitter. Hope you've been doing good, Coach. I've been doing all right. Been doing all right, as all right as I can be doing. And I think that's all any of us are doing. Um, what's it called? Sorry. I was catching up with the tons of messages in the chat. There's so many messages I can't even read, bro. No, but yeah, so tonight, decent card. Mainly the main event. It's gonna be Charles Oliveira versus Ilya Topuria. I don't know who's gonna win. Everybody's always asking me, dude, who's gonna win? Who's gonna win? Who's gonna win? I don't know. I don't know. Let's wait and see. Let's wait and see, shall we? Let's take a minute. Figure it all out. But yeah, I'm excited for it. It's also Kai Kara France and what's his face? Pantoja. I kind of hope Pantoja wins because that New Zealander Haka bullshit is always so stupid. It's always the dumbest fucking thing, dude. It's always it's just dumb as shit. And he's like, I didn't know he was from New Zealand. I figured maybe he was from France because I don't know. His name kind of sounds French. It's literally got the name France in it. But hey, I don't know, man. The bottom line is, anytime that New Zealand Haka, that blah 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 blah, that shit, anytime I catch a whiff of that, I'm just like, I don't fucking like you. You suck. That's like if Native Americans, if American Indians were doing fucking war dances. I mean, that's literally what it is. It's a war dance. But like, imagine if American Indians were like every time they did anything, anytime they did a single fucking thing. That'd be so stupid. That'd be so dumb. It'd be so fucking annoying. Um, that's like, baby, like, you guys got the shamas, in fucking Brazil. Like, imagine if every time you ran into one of them, they did like some weird tribal bullshit. You'd be like, dude, get away from me. We're in the capital of Brazil. Get away from me. you know? Yeah. It's just so stupid. It's played out. It's especially lately it's been played out. But yeah, anyway, UFC probably wants Topuria to win for marketing reasons. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. I saw a video on Twitter. It was Mighty Mouse talking about how the UFC has become reality TV, and it's become reality TV more and more as time has gone on. And I tend to agree with that because what you're seeing is less sport, and you're seeing more entertainment. A lot of people like that's like the midwit, like, I'm smart, I see I read between the lines, like the midwit, everything's fake stance to take is like, oh dude, they know who's gonna win before they tell the guy who's gonna win before. Like, that used to be a thing that was going around. People would genuinely be like, oh, I think the fights are fixed. And it's not as wrong as you would think. It's just annoying when fucking idiots try and make that claim as though Dana White calls both guys into the room and is like, okay, so you're going to win this fight. Um, they definitely will do anything they can to kind of tilt the scales, to kind of tip the scale in favor of whoever they want to win. That is definitely something they will do. And it's really fucking annoying. And even if it's something as almost petty, even if it's something as petty as like just better whatever, better like anything, promotion, excuse me. Like they get better billing or something like that. It's like, dude, get the fuck out of here, you know. And then you have situations where it's like John Jones with Cyril Gane. Cyril Gane didn't deserve to fight for a fucking title. Cyril Gane is not that good, you know. He's just not that good, right? I could sit here and explain it. But the bottom line is when John Jones went up to heavyweight, they gave him Cyril Gane instead of somebody who was going to be more of a challenge because they wanted to give John Jones the title right away so that he would be a draw for them. You know, and you're just seeing more and more like the UFC being a business, you know, like the UFC is different from boxing, right? In the way that the sport is played out. Now there's a lot of corruption in boxing, obviously, but the sanctioning bodies that govern boxing, like say the WBA, WBO, you know, like all these other sanctioning bodies and things like that, right? Whether they're like current, whether they're past, whether they're big, small, whatever, they aren't organizations. It's literally just a group of people who they keep stats is basically what it is. They keep stats. They keep track of what's happening in the boxing world and stuff like that. And then eventually what they do is they spring into action and they offer somebody a title fight if there is not already a title holder, right? If there's a title holder, then whenever that guy fights, they go and they see who wins and they hand that guy the belt. That's, in layman's, what the boxing promotions are. They're not even promotions, like I said, they're just governing bodies. But the UFC is a promotion specifically. And this promotion has control over titles and challengers and other things like that. And because of this, it makes it real easy for them to manipulate in that way, you know, if it makes sense what I'm trying to say. It's almost like what you'll see from like a from like a regional promotion. Like you have boxing, the way boxing works, right, is you have promotions and you have promoters, don't get me wrong, right? But those promotions don't necessarily sign guys in the way that the UFC does. Sometimes they will. You'll have a promoter who's like, you're going to be my guy. I got you for 3 fights, 4 fights, 5 fights, etc., right? You might have a situation like that. That tends to be what happens when guys are on the smaller shows, is they get in good with a promoter in their area and they get easy fights and stuff like that, right? But if you want to fight for some of the most prestigious belts in the game, you're not going to be able to do that through like CES boxing, for instance, right? Or you know, any other like boxing promotion that's just some guy operating out of a gymnasium somewhere. You're not going to get that. It's just not going to happen, you know. Oh, excuse me. You're gonna have to go through that governing body. They're gonna have to sanction that fight. If they don't sanction that fight, you're not going to be able to fight for that title, you know. That's just the way that it works. Now, the UFC is different in that they are a promotion that controls the highest belt, the most important belt in the sport. And because of that, Dana, a businessman, is going to try his best, even if he's not going to absolutely positively rig every little thing. He's going to try his best to make it. He's gonna try his best to make it so that whoever he feels is going to make him the most money is going to have the belt. That's why Sean O'Malley got his belt. That's why that dude who knocked out Chris Mutino a couple of weeks ago, you know, that dude is going to have an easy run. You know, like Dana's going to make sure of it because that guy is going to be good for the money making. You know, not even good for MMA, not even good for the promotion, just good for money making. That's it. You know. But anyway, Ilya has this one easy. Yeah. It like Charles Oliveira was hot like a year or two ago. You know, like legit. The last time Charles Oliveira was that dangerous or known for being that dangerous was like 2 apartments ago. Was like 2 apartments ago is when I remember thinking, oh, Charles Oliveira, that's no joke, you know. I'm not saying that he's a slouch or anything like that. He's not, but they're giving Ilya Charles Oliveira for the same reason that they gave Cyril Gane to John Jones. Is they think that Ilya is going to be able to walk through Charles Oliveira. And do I think he's going to walk through him? I'd like to think not. You know, I'd like to think it's going to be a tougher fight than that, a better fight than that, even. But it's just, you know, I just don't know. I just don't know. Sorry. Anyway, do you bet on any of these fights? No, betting is stupid. Like that's one thing that I find to be annoying is that betting is becoming a big thing in betting is becoming a big thing in America now, like sports betting specifically. That used to be something that was illegal in Massachusetts. You just couldn't do it, so you had to find like a fucking Goomba, like a mafia guy if you wanted to do that, you know. Um but like now it's not illegal anymore, and now everybody's betting on shit, and it almost kind of annoys me a little bit because like you have dudes that want to bet on fights that come to me and they're like, dude, who do you think is gonna win? And it's like, I'm not a fucking predictor guy. I have my ideas, I have my opinions and things like that on, you know, who I would like to win and who has the better this, or who is known more for that or something like that. You know, I have my ideas and my shit, but like the bottom line is I don't fucking know what's gonna happen. Nobody knows what's gonna happen when two dudes get in there, you know. So you know, it's annoying when I have dudes that try to bet on fights who are like, dude, who you think's gonna win? It's like fucking nobody, dude. We're all gonna lose. We're all gonna lose. How about that? You know. Um, Oliveira is pretty dangerous. I just don't think he can weather the storm of Ilya. I don't know. I don't know. You know. Uh, one sec. Um, one sec. I'm going to mute the mic real quick. I'll be right back. All right. I had to scream at my wife real quick. I had to scream on that ass. Oh, but Ilya is small, but so is Edgar, and he was lightweight champion. Yeah, you see, Ilya's small, but he's not small. What I mean by that is he's small, but he can be a little bit beefier because of that. He can be small this way, but he's going to be able to be a little bit bigger that way. And at that weight, dude, fucking, it's just been nonstop fireworks. It's just been nonstop fireworks. I know it's not gunshots because I know the difference between gunshots and fireworks, but like literally for the last like 5 minutes, it's just been pop, 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 pop. And it's like, holy fuck, man. You know, I don't want to be a Karen, but like also go fuck yourself. You know, it's like eat shit. But anyway, excuse me. Like speed and strength matters in fighting in general, but especially at those weight classes where that's one of the reasons why Volk was so dangerous. You know, that like Volk could compete at lightweight easy. He lost a really hard fought battle to Islam the first time around, where Islam couldn't even finish him with his grappling. And then he got knocked out on what was, I think, like a 2 week notice fight or something like that. Um, so it's kind of like, yeah, you know, like fucking. I don't think that's a. I don't think that goes against him. You know. I don't think that goes against him. What's going on, Patriots fan 2020? How you doing, man? All right, so we got Payton Talbot versus some other dude. I forget what his I forget what his name was. Kind of seems familiar to me though. I don't know. But yeah, like Ilya's gonna be quicker probably, and there's a good chance that he's gonna be stronger. Charles is not the most built lightweight. What Charles is extremely technical. Even his striking is so fucking technical. There's not even a half inch of overextension on his punches. He sits down on everything instead of leaning on it. And what I mean is, like if you're throwing a jab cross, right? You go jab cross. What happens is when you turn, you kind of get shorter a little bit because you're sitting down on your punch. That is what is considered to be a technical cross versus what tends to happen from a lot of people. I do this too every now and again. I've been actually trying to fix this tendency a little bit more because I want more power on my cross again. Dudes will they'll lean like that. They'll throw overhands. They'll even throw straights, and they'll kind of end up all the way over here. Now, the benefit to that is that you are moving your head, so you're not going to get countered as easily. But the the thing that's bad about that is since you're moving your head off the center line and everything like that, you're interrupting the power line. But this fight is about to start. It is again Payton Talbot versus I forget his name. Huh? Yeah, go ahead. All right, so Payton Talbot is in the black, and it's Lima in the yellow. Lima goes right out to the center and doesn't do shit. That's that's my favorite thing is dudes that come out like they're about to be very overhand from Lima, followed by a left hook that doesn't quite land, kick that does not land either. All right, so he's a little active. He's a little active. I was gonna say that's like funny as shit that he ran out, took the center, and just was immediately like, all right, let's just hop around and feel him out. That was just kind of funny to me. So there's a brief exchange there. Nothing really landed. Peyton Talbot kind of stalking, taking his time. Ooh, so, jab cross. It looks like the jab landed from Lima, but what I was saying ooh to at first, cross right up the middle from Lima lands on Peyton Talbot. What I was saying ooh to was Lima grabbed Talbot's lead hand, and then when Talbot tried to throw a counter cross to that, he parried the counter cross. That was an interesting move. I like seeing schoolyard bullshit like that. Nice two piece, a couple of two pieces from Talbot. Tries for another one. He gets a little bit interrupted by Lima throwing an overhand, a kick from Talbot. And Lima's throwing real wide. Like there's been multiple situations. They're in the clinch right now. Lima throws a knee before swimming for an underhook. I believe he has an underhook and an overhook, which means what's his face? Talbot also has that. Like this whole time, it's only been about a minute and a half. Lima has been throwing bombs, but they've been wide. He's literally throwing and he's landing back like behind here. It's pretty crazy, huh? That's weird. Hold on one sec. There's something up with Fight Pass right now, and it's in Portuguese, so I'm not even sure what the hell that is. I'm gonna go ahead. And I'm gonna consult the expert on this matter. My we pay for Brazilian Fight Pass because it's literally like $3 a month. It's like insanely fucking cheap. Brazilian UFC Fight Pass. I shit you not. But anyway, give me one moment. I'm gonna mute this as well. I guess the internet disconnected. I don't know why. But anyway, so when the internet came back, that makes me nervous about my internet. Though I'm on a wired connection, she's on wireless, so that might be it, you know. But anyway, so Talbot has Lima up against a cage right now. At first, when the internet came back, Lima was actually down on the ground against the cage, and Talbot goes for a takedown, but it backfires. Lima hops over. He ends up in the guard anyway, though, and now he is burying his head in. Ooh, huh. Lima was tripoded. It almost looked like he was trying to go for a Von Flue there, which is an interesting choice from guard. It's kind of tough to get away with that, especially when you're going for an underhook from there. If he wanted to, he might be able to try a Sao Paulo pass, but I don't see why he would do that. And then in addition to that, like that kind of pass is tough in no-gi. It's a little strange. It's a little bit of a strange one. So right now, again, Talbot is in danger of getting guillotined if he's not careful. He's got to be real fucking careful. Not Talbot, fucking Lima, excuse me. Lima was in a position where he let Talbot sit up, and his head was underneath Talbot's what's it called? His armpit, excuse me, but it didn't end up with anything. So now Talbot is up. He's against the cage. Lima has an overhook, and Talbot turns off the cage and reverses, but then Lima reverses as well. There was an elbow thrown in there from Talbot, didn't quite land. So now we have an over-under from Lima. I keep almost mixing up their names. I don't know why. I mean, Lima doesn't exactly look like a Lima, I'll be honest with you here, you know. He does not look like, you know, he doesn't look like your average Brazilian, you know. But anyway, excuse me. So yeah, I mean, unfortunately, we missed most of that round. That sucks. What you gonna do? But yeah, I mean, hey, it is what it is. It is what it is, dude. Hopefully the internet will not cut out like that again. That's gonna be really annoying. Sorry to rant, but I just had someone try to tell me off for making a joke on Twitch. I really fear for humanity. All I said was I didn't trust someone because they were using TTS to talk. Yeah, well, some people are just fucking idiots, you know. Talbot shouted out Fish Tank and Sam a while ago. Pretty cool. Did he really? Did he Eddie Montero? You gotta. If he did, you gotta show me. You gotta show me that because that's pretty crazy. Anyway, yeah, I mean, some people are just like idiots, you know. Some people are just dumb like that. Grab Uni attack. Isn't he half blind? Isn't who half blind? Janko Malcolmist. Do you mean Lima or Talbot? I'm not sure. Ooh, head kick from Lima right out the gate. Doesn't really land. Doesn't really land. Didn't land at all. Didn't even come close. Ooh, front kick from Lima doesn't quite. I don't know if it landed or not. It might have. You know, it definitely connected with something, but I don't think it scored. Is the issue? A knee attempt from Talbot does not land. It's hard to land knees. Ooh, a jet. Ooh, a nice two-piece from Lima there. See, Talbot's hands are low and he's leaving his head on the center line when he throws, and because of that, it's easier for Lima, who just shot him for a takedown and missed, by the way. Lima shooting him for that. Ooh, wow. Lima had a single leg and he was about to trip, and Talbot actually he didn't fall down, you know, he didn't go down. Thank you, baby. I'm sure it's good. So right now, Lima has a half guard on Talbot, which is not good for him, actually. He needs to get the hell out of there, but Talbot's doing a good job of keeping underhooks to make sure that Lima can't really get away. That's good for him. Nice cross from Lima appears to have landed. Some hammer fists followed by some hooks by Talbot. Again, I keep mixing them up by mistake. I keep fucking mixing them up by mistake. So one thing Lima's doing well is he's countering the jab, especially when it's a lazy jab from Talbot. Talbot's got to not throw lazy jabs in the first place. But then in addition to that, he's got to be very careful of that. He's got to throw a jab and try and bait a reaction, if anything. Or he's got to throw that jab in a non-lazy way. You know, he's got to really drill Lima with that jab. You know, when you know you're gonna get hit with something hard, it makes it. Ooh, that was a nice cross from Talbot. Comes right up the middle. But oh wow. Wow, that was such a beautiful fucking. There's been some pretty good grappling in this fight so far, I have to say. So, Lima shot in for a takedown. He got a single leg, and he ended up getting reversed by Talbot. Talbot pancaked him. That was really crazy because he actually had the leg locked up. He had the leg wrapped up. He had a hook on the leg, and he still couldn't finish that takedown. That's really good on Talbot. You know, that's really cool. You know, he shouted him out in an Ariel Helwani interview. Yo, that's fucking crazy. That's insane, dude. It's so crazy to me that like there's a good chance that like some of these guys have seen um like me training people and stuff like that. It's so crazy to think about, you know? I think it's also because like UFC guys, like we see them on TV and stuff like that, but they're really like they're the most accessible. Oh, kick misses from Talbot. They're the most accessible when it comes to pro athletes at a high level. Like it's so much easier to see them just like walking around ooh, spinning back fist from Lima does not land. Spinning back kick from Talbot does not land. But they're just that much more accessible, you know? Like you're not just gonna see Tom Brady walking around a Walmart or anything like that. But I've literally seen Joe Lozon just like around. Like if you're just in the right place at the right time, they're just kind of living their fucking lives in a way that like if you saw them and you were like, "Yo, you're Joe Lozon," he'd be like, "Yeah, yeah, it's me. Anyway, can I just get my like hungry man dinner, please?" You know, they like almost like that. Um, you know, so like it almost doesn't surprise me at all that there's UFC guys. It looks like Lima's trying to nice cross up the middle from Talbot. I was gonna say a second ago, it looks like Lima's trying Lima ducks under a punch and he goes for the takedown, but he does not have it right now. He does have Talbot up against the cage right now. He's trying to hook a leg to bring him down, and he gets that takedown on Talbot. Talbot is giving up his back. He's got to be very careful with that. He's got to make sure to hand fight, and he's got to make sure to explode to his feet ASAP, which is what he's doing. And he's tripoding. He's tripoding, and he's shaking, and he got the reversal. Talbot is now in north-south position with Lima on bottom. Lima fell when he was trying to ride the back. Talbot giving up the north-south for a Kesakatami type position. Basically a kind of side control you typically will see in judo nowadays. And he ends up going for the mount. He gets the mount. He throws a couple of punches, and what's his face? I almost called him Cara France. I can't get Lima's name right for some reason. Lima rolled, giving up his back, but since he rolled and gave up his back, that means his head is now facing Talbot, which means he can't get hit. The back of his head is now facing Talbot, which means he can't get hit. That's kind of part of the meta of MMA, where like if you did that in a jiu-jitsu match, your black belt would be like, "What are you doing?" And he'd be like flipping out about that. But with MMA, it's actually a smart move in some cases to not bother even trying to escape or hit a reversal from the mount, because you're just going to get clobbered while you're trying to do that. So what guys will do now is they'll explode, they'll turn, and they'll just deal with the fact that they gave their backup, you know? But yeah, so I mean the grappling in this fight has been actually like pretty damn good. It's been entertaining. I've been having a good time with it, you know. I got some Don Julio Rosado, all right, making some margs. We got some margs, you know. That's good, baby. Thank you. Huh? Mm-mm. All right, so here we are, round 3. If I had to give it to somebody right now, I'd say it's probably Payton Talbot taking this right so far. But we got almost 5 more minutes to go. And with Lima swinging for the fences and being able to still land, that's not a good sign to say that this is in the bag for Talbot. You know, he's got to survive this round. And right now, it seems like he's trying to survive the round through activity. Because one of the things you have to understand, especially when someone's your size or smaller than you, Well, in general, sometimes activity, sometimes moving forward and being aggressive is actually like, ooh, nice cross from Lima. Sometimes a high output, a high capacity is not the worst idea, even when you're like, okay, I'm up 2 rounds, nothing. I gotta, like, stay safe. Because if you're throwing, there's a good chance that guy is gonna stop whatever he's doing to defend whatever you're doing. Um, this is it's a strat. It's a tough strat to keep up with. You got to have a good gas tank for it. But ooh, nice stiff jab from Talbot. Cross doesn't quite land. Oh, Lima got a single leg. He wasn't able to finish it, but he still got it. So he might be able to finish that depending on how he goes. Ooh, he's tree topping. That fucking sucks. That shit sucks. Tree topping is when you have a single leg, right? Ooh, nice double leg from Lima there. They're both trying to kind of fight for position right now. Lima is doing what Habib used to do. He is trapping Talbot's legs so that he can't get out. What Talbot has to do, I don't know exactly what he's going for right there. Ooh, I mean, what he has to do is exactly what he just did, which is get his legs out, specifically the knee. What I was going to say is he could give up whatever he was trying to go for with that leg, and he could try and push off while he scoots out. But he got out anyway, regardless. So doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Ooh, we have another takedown attempt from Lima. Talbot got out. They both stood up, and Lima has his back. He, for a second, looked like he was trying to climb up to a backpack position, but instead he decides he's going to level change. He has that single leg again, and it just does not quite work out for him. He tried to trip, but he just didn't have enough leverage. Nice stiff jab from Lima there. Kind of caught Talbot flat-footed. Ooh, nice 3-2-3 from Talbot was decently hard. It was a knee up the middle too. Looked like it might have landed. Jab from Talbot. Lima almost counters with an overhand right. Another jab from Talbot lands. See, these jabs are annoying, but this late in the fight, ooh, spinning back kick from Talbot lands. I don't know why that didn't knock Lima out. That's surprising. That's surprising that didn't knock him out. Ooh, Lima throws a kick and he's down. I wasn't sure exactly what happened. I just saw, like, I looked back just in time to see the kick, and then he fell. Tries to roll. Lima tries to roll to get out. He ends up in a half guard position where Talbot landed a couple of hammer fists. Now Talbot is trying to create distance. He's trying to posture up using his arm across Lima's throat. That way he can actually throw. And Talbot is now back in the full mount position. He is, yep. Ooh, okay. Lima rolls through, and now, I don't even know if this position has a name. I'm sure this position has a name, but it's inverted body triangle is what the situation is right now. Lima has an inverted body triangle, but now Lima's just straight up inverted. Like, his ass is like, he could fart in Talbot's face right now. MMA is not gay. I swear, everybody. If you're watching along with me right now, I swear MMA is not gay. I know it's Pride Month. I know Talbot just delivered 2 downward elbows to the butt cheeks of Lima, but I swear to you, MMA is a completely heterosexual thing. It is a completely and totally heterosexual activity, okay? All right? I promise you. Now, with that said, they end up out of the position. That was a really weird position that happens sometimes. Lima tried to escape the mount, and he did successfully, but he ended up in a spot where he was inverted with a body triangle, and when Talbot got out of that, well, he was in a better spot. He won the whatever it's called. He won the thing. He won the scramble. Excuse me, is what he won. But yeah, Smart Moron says Payton 29-28. I mean, we missed a lot of the first round, but yeah, I don't think I can disagree with that. It was an entertaining fight. It was a good fight, but I think Payton was just like a couple steps ahead the entire fight. It was really good. It was really fun. Oh, excuse me. Butt Pounding Live brought to you by Dana White. Exactly. Exactly. Heterosexual butt pounding. Uh yeah, so the reason why what's his face? The reason why Lima didn't get KO'd by that spinning back kick is because like if this is the heel, right? If this is the heel and this is the Achilles tendon, he got hit basically with the Achilles tendon instead of the heel. When you throw a spinning back kick like that, you want to land with the heel. You don't want to hit with the Achilles tendon because the heel is the hard thing that you're gonna hit him with, where there's gonna be like that full transfer of power and something might break and stuff like that. The Achilles tendon, there's a lot of meat there where it's gonna hurt. I mean, you don't want to get kicked in the head regardless, but it just didn't quite do what he wanted it to do. This was a good fight though. I have to say that was a really good fight. This was a good performance. Um, uh-oh. Smart moron, you deleted it. Why'd you delete it? Oh, excuse me. Oh, Dana White. Dana White, what the fuck? Joe Rogan's there. It's crazy seeing Joe Rogan look as old as he does. It's like it kind of sucks. When I think of Joe Rogan, I think of Fear Factor Joe Rogan. That's really who I think of for the most part. I think of Fear Factor Joe Rogan. And seeing this Joe Rogan is just there's just something about it. There's something about it that I'm just like, dude, man, what? He's old. He's getting old. I do think what's his face. I do think Joe Rogan should have fought once. There was absolutely positively zero reason for him to not fight one time. But I think I forget who, but somebody accused him of being on steroids, and it's like, yeah, I can see that. Like when I think of steroids, I think of athletic activity, meaning sports and stuff like that. Um, but one day I was hanging out with a friend of mine. It was a group of us, and he said, "Yo, dude, I'd do steroids." And I was like, "Why? That's like bullshit." And he's like, "Well, it's not like I'm competing in anything. I just want to be jacked." And I was like, "Oh, well, all right, okay. I guess that makes sense. Yeah, I mean, fuck, if you just want to be jacked, you're not going to be using it to like win something that you don't deserve to win. All right, that's fine by me. Shit, what do I care? you know. So it's like whatever. Joe Rogan's on steroids. He gives a fuck. And that's probably why he didn't fight. I'm like I'm like trying to check for updates for Fish Tank. I saw that they said they're gonna be live again soon. They said they were gonna be live again soon. I'm pretty sure. Within the next like 24 hours or something like that. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure they said something about that. But I do know that the season 2 house got condemned, which is fucking crazy. And it got condemned because they don't have a fire escape or something like that, which is bullshit because like where do you know that has a fire escape around here? That's like a New York thing. It's like that's like a New York, like, oh, I live on the 30th floor of this building here. I need to make sure I have a fire escape because there's no way for me to get out otherwise. Um Even apartment buildings around here don't have fucking fire escapes. And I'm talking like apartment buildings with like 10 floors or more sometimes. They just don't have them. It's very clear what that was. It's very clear what it was meant to be. It was just a political move, from some fucking pussy building inspector piece of shit. There's probably some law somewhere that got ignored. But fucking, oh yeah, that guy's from Brasilia, baby. That Gabriel Bonfim dude. Yeah, he trains at that gym that I want to go to, the Luta Livre gym. Fucking yeah, I want to try Luta Livre once, but hmm, man, excuse me. Anyway, but yeah, like it's just bullshit, you know. And again, it's why I can't stand government. You know, it's why I can't stand government of any kind. Um, even though the older I get, the more I kind of understand why like some people are like Karens and stuff like that. It's like those fireworks, right? Like um for like a straight like 2 to 3, maybe even 5 minute fucking thing. Dude, fucking they have Daniel Cormier versus Chael Sonnen coaching the Ultimate Fighter. And it's like, dude, like they better fight. If that's the case, you better sign both of them back for like a one fight deal and make them both fight. You better do that. I don't want to see like I don't want to see the Ultimate Fighter in general, but I especially don't want to see Chael and DC like old fucks like, oh, you see what you gotta do is this like, dude, get out of here. But anyway, um like those fireworks, like they're bothering people. They bothered me. You know, like it's annoying to hear 5 minutes of boom, 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 nonstop. Excuse me. Um, but yeah, it's just fucking foolish, you know. Scott, have you ever used a slingshot or a rock sling? They are based and would help your MMA career immensely. Yeah, I'll sneak a slingshot in. I'll sneak a slingshot in when I fight next. That's a good idea. Excuse me. Uh, it's because they were sleeping in the basement with no windows, but yeah, it was just whatever excuse they could use to shut it down. Yeah, I mean that's not even a good enough excuse. Like that's like you're not allowed to sleep in a basement. Like if you guys know the if you guys know the layout of the season 2 house, it's basically like there's like a fucking basement, and then you walk out that door, and then the door to leave is right in front of you. You know, it's just like it's dumb, but whatever. You know, they should live stream the lawsuit results post season 4 Blood Games too. Yeah, unfortunately, lawsuits take years. You know, and that's the disgusting thing about it is that the legal system is purposefully designed to not be speedy and fair, you know, like the founders intended, so that when some fuckhead city councilor piece of shit is like, oh, I don't like that. There's nothing wrong with it legally, and in fact, it's well within their right to do it, but I personally don't like it, so I don't want it around. They get to be like, hey, cops, go down there and point your guns at them if they don't leave. And then all you can do as the citizen, as the non governmental entity in that situation, is just be like, oh, I'll sue you for this. And it's just gross, you know. It's there needs to be a quicker way to be able to tell people like that to fuck off, you know. And it shouldn't have to involve Bundy Ranch tier shit, you know. It should involve, no, this is what the law says. There is no need to interpret it. Okay, there's no need to go to court over it. This is what the law says. You will be summarily, no, I don't know if summarily executed, but like you will be locked up for violating my rights, because that's the other piece about it too, right? Is if a cop violates your rights and a judge is like, yeah, you're right, that was a violation of your rights, nothing happens to the cop. Maybe he loses his job, probably not, definitely not, in fact. Cops like that, people who do that kind of thing, need to be arrested and potentially given capital punishment. Like genuinely, like capital punishment should extend to when a governmental entity violates the Constitution. And I think if you raise George Washington from the dead and you're like, hey, so what do you think about that? He'd be like, yeah, that's right. You know, he'd have his Virginia accent. He'd be like, yeah, exactly. You know, fucking It's serious shit that because people are like, oh, I don't want to go through the trouble, you know, they don't, and because of that, like, fuckhead piece of shit IRL Reddit mods, they get to just trample your rights and tell you that if you are doing something that is none of their fucking business, but they just decide they don't want it, they get to kick you out of your house, because that's what condemning the house does. You're not allowed to occupy it. So, like, because of that, anyone in Cumberland, Rhode Island, and anyone in the state of Rhode Island, or even Massachusetts for that matter, can get kicked out of their home just because a building inspector decided, no, there's no fire escape. You know, it's fucking gross. You know? If they do lose their jobs, they just move one town or state over and do the same shit. And that's exactly why I say jail time and capital punishment is necessary, because they should not be allowed to do that again. We have Beneil Dariush versus not Renato Moicano. Or was it? Oh yeah, Renato Moicano versus Beneil Dariush. Beneil Dariush is beast and Christ filled, so we're gonna be cheering for him. And plus, Renato Moicano is Brazilian, so fuck him. He's a piece of shit. And he's from my wife's hometown, so double fuck. The worst Brazilians are from Brasilia. Oh man. But I mean, Beneil Dariush, like, I can't tell if he's that old or if he's just one of those dudes who goes gray in his 20s or like early 30s or something like that. Looks like it could be either. You know, I'm one of those dudes who starts going bald in his 20s, although it's not nearly as bad as it could be. You know, but hey. Anyway, Talbot putting on for Pride Month. Is Talbot gay? Is Talbot gay? I don't know. But yeah, you know, they're not going to they're not going to they're not gonna let that be the end. They're not gonna let that be the end. You know, they said they needed 24 more hours. Fine, whatever, it's all good. Unfortunately, I am nervous about the prospect of I am nervous about the prospect of what's it called? Momentum. I am nervous about the prospect of momentum, but then again, also they have the whole the establishment didn't want us to do this, but we did anyway thing on their side too, where, like, you never know, there could be a situation where you know, there could be a situation where, like, people are like, oh fuck, it's back, like, damn, they really like people could be impressed by the gumption, by the lack of quit, as well as the middle finger to the authorities and shit like that. You know, like, they have that kind of thing going on for themselves. So, you know. All right, so we got Beneil Dariush versus Renato Moicano. Yeah, they're both 36 years old. These guys look big for lightweight. You know, like, how tall is this dude, baby?
Um, six, 6 feet.
6 feet. Yeah. So these guys are literally my size. Like that. Like, yeah, he's 6 feet tall. Like, that's kind of what I look like when I'm in shape. You know. Actually, I look more like fucking Dariush, if anything. You know, fucking yeah.
Really short.
I mean, I look like Moicano. I'm not short, but yeah, even he looks big for the division, though. You know, like, you see Charles. Do you know how tall Charles is?
Me?
Yeah,
I don't know, but I a little bit over 6.
really?
Yeah.
No, I was gonna say Charles is tall, but he's like lanky as fuck. You know. And then you got dudes like what's his face? Dustin Poirier and stuff like that. He's not tall, but you know, he's also not like jacked either, you know. I just figured these guys would be 170. Then I heard lightweight, and I was like, huh? Dariush starts off with a kick. Not as much energy as the last fight, kind of understandable. These guys are 36 years old, and they are both really big lightweights. Another body kick from Dariush does not find its mark. So we have a lefty versus righty battle here. Dariush is a lefty, excuse me. You know, so we're seeing a lot of hand fighting right out the gate. There was an inner leg kick, a hard inner leg kick from Dariush, followed by another one to the opposite leg that does not find its mark. Boy, kick, return kick. Moicano kicks, Dariush kicks, and Dariush lands. Sort of a probing kick from Moicano, followed by a hard leg kick from Dariush. You see, you don't see hard kicks from people anymore in the UFC, and it's really fucking annoying and stupid. You know, it's refreshing to see Dariush actually try to land a hard fucking kick, and he's landed multiple of them to the inner leg of Moicano. Moicano hops in, does a tie hop in, he lands something. I wasn't exactly sure what. I was looking at the legs still, kind of expecting more kicks. I'm also feeling that tequila a little bit. Double jab from Dariush moving in, followed by a low kick. Moicano clinches briefly, throws a sort of a soft knee, lands. Scored a point. High kick from Dariush, misses. Moicano hops in, doesn't quite land whatever he was trying to hit. Dariush threw a left hand that missed, but then another left hand that landed. There's two kicks from Dariush. The second kick, both kicks landed. The second kick knocked Moicano down. Again, sort of hand fight in between the two. Dariush moves in, Moicano moves back. Whoa, okay, that was weird. Low kick from Dariush, but I don't know. I think he might have stepped wrong or something like that, because it looks like he landed the low kick, but that he just kind of like fell over. He fell straight on his ass. What's going on, Joe Butt Slasher? I miss what happened?
They just Dariush just started landing.
They just kissed.
Yeah.
Yeah. So something happened. I don't know exactly what. I was saying hello to Joe Butt Slasher, but they ended up in the clinch. Dariush was against the cage, and Moicano steps back. Moicano high kick doesn't find its mark. Ooh. Kick to the body doesn't quite land for Dariush. Kick to the leg, partially checked by Moicano. There was a cross from Dariush that I don't think landed. So right now, Dariush is against the cage. He's got to be very careful. There was a cross that partially landed from Moicano. Fights better with no sound. Sick of Joe Rogan saying calf kicks changed the game for the fucking millionth time. I'll call it. Yeah. Joe Rogan was a good commentator back when nobody knew anything about MMA. You know, he was the guy who could explain it, who could break it down for the layman. But now it's like he's a little bit too much of a fanboy of his own thing, you know? Like me, like, ooh, nice jab cross from Dariush. Ooh, there's a bit of a slugfest that happened for a second. It looks like Dariush ate a right hook. Dariush throws a kick to the leg, followed by one up higher. Brief exchange, nothing really lands. Ooh, jab cross from Moicano lands. Dariush on his ass, but he ends up shooting in for a single leg, which he almost had. He almost had it. Moicano turns to the back. He not swims to the back. Ooh, this is also another pretty interesting grappling exchange here. So Moicano keeps spinning to the back, but he's not bothering with trying to ride legs or anything like that. He's not putting hooks in.
He's just kind of being heavy. That's what I prefer to do a lot of the time. Ooh, cross the body. And knee to the head attempt from Moicano doesn't land. There's 10 seconds left in the round. We're gonna see if Dariush can survive. I think he will. That was a pretty pretty exciting exchange to end the round. I don't know who I'd give that to, because the thing is, Dariush was not consistent. Dariush was consistent for the entire round, but that was a straight knockdown from Moicano, and then he controlled like the grappling after that. So it's kind of tough. It depends on whether the judges think that knockdown plus the last 45 seconds to a minute of that round was enough to put an end to, not put an end. Thank you very much, Joe Buttslasher. I appreciate the $10. You didn't have to worry about that though, dude. You know, I understand people got shit going on. Ooh, yeah, that was a nice cross. So what happened is Dariush, as a lefty, his orientation would be here. Moicano's orientation would be here, which means his right hand is right here. You know, it's on this side. So when Dariush leaned out of the way of a jab, he was right there to eat the cross that knocked him down. You know, 10 push-ups now. I'll do them later, dude. I'm drinking. Ooh, there's already a slugfest going on. We got Dariush throwing some hooks. Moicano did not quite like that. He tried to go for a takedown, single leg, but it did not work. And now, there's a grappling exchange going on. Dariush has the back, but Moicano is standing up. Dariush ended up on top. He was kind of playing around in the guard for a second, and then Moicano rolled. Now Moicano they're in the dogfight position right now, I believe. Moicano has, yes, he has a Western. He basically has a Western in on Dariush, but the thing is, Dariush is still technically on top. It's just a matter of time until Moicano gets out of that, though. Moicano stands up and he turns in. He's now up against the cage. Dariush takes him down briefly, gets the back. He is riding, but he's not riding in a good position right now. Oh, no, he's in a better position now that Moicano has stood straight up. But he gives the hooks up. Now Moicano is against the cage. Dariush is in on a single leg. He's trying his best to take him down. I think he's not even trying to take him down. I think he's trying for whatever he can. He ends up getting a takedown. If he can keep it, we will see. Moicano is to one knee right now. Dariush is hanging down on the back. He has a seatbelt, and he has one hook in. He has his right hook in, and I would assume he's going to try and get his other hook in if Moicano gives him the space to be able to. Looks like he might be pushing off of the cage, meaning Dariush might push off the cage. I'm not 100% sure, though. No, he gives that up. So right now they're just jockeying for position. Moicano is up, and he is facing into Dariush, but his back is still against the cage. Dariush has an underhook, which means Moicano also has an underhook. Moicano has an underhook and an overhook. Dariush is down on a double leg. He gives that up. He's now back into the over-under position. Jockeying for position. Dariush reaching for a single leg. He has a high crotch, and he gets the takedown. He is now in a half guard with Moicano on the ground. We are going to see what happens here. Right now, Moicano trying to hand fight, as well as trying to make sure Dariush can't posture up to land punches. See, it's tough to grapple when you're against the cage like that, because if you end up pushed up against the cage, you have nowhere to go. Kind of sucks, you know. I'm just like there hasn't been a major change in position, so that's why I'm not like telling you exactly what's happening. But like every time they move, it looks like something's about to happen, and I'm like, is someone gonna get out? Someone gonna get out? You know. Right now they're just jockeying for position in that half guard. You know. What has happened though is Moicano has slowly changed the orientation of his body as to where if this was the cage and this was his head, he's like that. So if he tries to move, he's not going to move into the cage. He's going to move, lateral to it, or not lateral, parallel to it. So that's good for him. But one thing that Moicano can try to do is he can try and get his right arm into an underhook, in which case it would give him an out from that position. And now would be the perfect time to do that, specifically because Dariush is trying to raise that arm up to, to get some kind of offense going. But now it's a little bit too late because the orientation of their bodies have changed so that I keep calling why the fuck do I keep almost calling people Kai Kara France? I don't know. It's I'm blaming it on this, but the orientations of their bodies have changed where it almost looks like Dariush is trying to go for an arm triangle. It looks like he's slowly trying to dig for an arm triangle. He's got his head underneath the arm. Oh, he ended up taking it out, but it looked like Dariush was going for that arm triangle because he had his head underneath the armpit of Moicano. And if he was able to get out from the... Ooh, we have some ground and pound right now, but Moicano swept Dariush. So there was a point where Dariush was landing some punches in the guard position, and what's his face? Moicano was trying his best to go for a sweep from that position, and he kind of got it, but Dariush was up right away, Anyway. Would you go on Joe Rogan tomorrow if you got the call? I don't need Joe Rogan, buddy. Joe Rogan needs me. Joe Rogan needs me. What have you learned about Brazilian culture from your spouse? I learned about toilet paper. Should I tell him, baby?
Yeah, go ahead.
There's a lot of houses in Brazil, they can't handle toilet paper.
Oh,
Huh?
oh,
All the I thought you said there was I thought you said there were improvements there. Ooh, there was a Superman punch from Dariush. I didn't even realize. Cross followed by a double leg takedown, which lands for Dariush. The double leg takedown does. Dariush has a hook in. He had a back take, but Moicano explodes, and now this grappling exchange. These grappling exchanges tonight have been pretty interesting. Dariush is in on a single leg. He's trying to turn it into a double leg. Moicano sprawls. He gets an underhook, so it doesn't quite work for him. There's a hard body kick followed by a cross from Dariush. Neither of them land, but it sucks taking body kicks even to your arms. It's not fun taking a kick to this part of your arm. It sucks, But right now we have Moicano had Dariush's back. They were standing up. He let it go, and Dariush almost landed a spinning back fist off of that. Y'all flush toilet paper? No, they can't flush toilet paper in Brazil because their pipes can't take it. Cross up the middle from Dariush, followed by an elbow from Dariush on the break from that clinch. Nice inner leg kick from Dariush. Again, it's refreshing to see hard leg kicks to the thigh. You don't see much of those anymore, And even at this point in the fight, you could see Moicano does not like that. He switched to a southpaw stance as well. And now that he's probably feeling a little bit better, he's back in his traditional stance, Another inner leg kick from Dariush, but a body kick gets caught by Moicano, and there's a brief scramble that stabilizes in a tie plum position. Dariush lands a hook followed by what looked like another hook landing after the break from that tie plum. Jab from Dariush misses. Moicano returns with one that lands, and Dariush tries to return with a left hook that doesn't. Dariush shoots in for the takedown. He gets the double leg. He even turned the corner on it. You don't see a lot of guys who turn the corner very well in the UFC, you know. And the way Dariush turned the corner was nice to see. But now Dariush is backpacking. He is backpacking on Moicano. He has one hook in, the other hook is out. And he's got to be real careful here not to slip off or not to get slammed in a way that's going to be bad for him. He tries to put the other hook in, but it does not quite work. Dariush drags him down. He no longer has any hooks in. Moicano just trying to survive, trying to get out. He's doing a little bit of hand fighting, trying to make sure that he protects his neck. They're now in a turtle position. Moicano tried to Granby roll out of that. It almost looked like, ooh, nice knee from Dariush. This is a good fight. These fights have been pretty good, you know. A minute and a half left, and they're swinging in the center of the cage. Dariush down on another takedown up against the cage. I don't know if he's going to make it. Not quite. Nice tie plum, followed by a knee from Dariush, and then they break. Nice kick from Dariush. You can tell Dariush is really tired right now. His punches just don't have the steam that they did, but, you know, he's still throwing. There's a little bit under a minute in this fight. Again, like, a couple of really good fights so far tonight. I haven't been happy with MMA for a long time. I haven't been happy with the UFC for a very long time, you know? And, but, like, it's fights like this that made MMA, in my opinion, you know? Where, like are these fights gonna be, like, is this gonna be fight of the year? No. But it doesn't have to be fight of the year. It just has to be a good fight. That's it. That's all I want, you know? There were good grappling exchanges. Ooh, nice right hook lands from Dariush, excuse me. Moicano tried to return with what looked like a jab. I don't think it quite landed. Looks like Moicano may have landed a left hook there. And Moicano now in on a takedown. I don't know if he's going to get it. There's an over-under from Dariush. He tries to reverse off the cage. It doesn't work. Throws a left hook on the way out, but it doesn't land. And that is the fight. It's like I was saying, though, like, not every fight has to be a fight of the year contender, but, like, every fight should be a fight. You know, it shouldn't be a sport. It should be a fight. Fighting is the sport. The sport or more so the sport aspect of it is the referee. Those guys are fighting as though they want to kill each other. They should be fighting as though they want to kill each other. As a means, they showed that kick that knocked Moicano down. If I had to give this to anybody right now, I'd definitely give it to Beneil Dariush, but not by a ton. Not by a ton, you know. I think at the very least it would be 2 rounds to 1, but, you know, it is what it is. He mainly dominated the grappling exchanges is the thing, you know, and he did pretty decent on the feet too. But what was I going to say? Like, not every fight has to be fight of the year contender. Like, look at these fucking idiots soy facing and shit like that. Bunch of fucking Zoomer soy boys. Anyway, not every fight has to be fight of the year contender. But you know what? Like, every fight should be a fucking fight. It shouldn't be a sport. It shouldn't be the sport of fighting. It should be a fight with the sport aspect of it being when that guy cannot continue, the ref steps in and pulls the other guy off. That's what it should be, you know? But unfortunately, fighting has become a little bit too much of a sport. It's become a little bit too domesticated, if that makes sense. It's become a little bit too domesticated, and because of that, dudes aren't throwing with reckless abandon anymore. Dudes aren't throwing with conviction anymore. And it's just dumb to see, you know? But this was a fight where both of them were thrown to try and knock each other's heads off. What are you smiling about, baby? Did your boy lose? Did your boy lose? She just flipped me off. Yeah, Beneil Dariush takes that, as he should. She's going to get more tequila. As someone who worked and cleaned bathrooms and retail in a neighborhood full of Brazilians, I can confirm that Brazil's struggle I'm gonna read that. I'm gonna read that to her when she gets back in, dude. Mr. Butt Slasher. I think you would be a good ref, Scott. You should apply. Yeah. Fucking might not be. The thing is, I don't think I would be a good ref. I got to be honest with you. Excuse me. I don't think I would be a good ref. You know, I just don't think I would be. You know, I'd get too into watching the fight. I'd be sitting there like, whoa, dude, this fight's so great, dude. These guys are doing so good, dude. This is awesome, bro. Hell yeah, dude. These guys are doing great. Wow, this is such an exciting fight. Oh fuck, I'm supposed to stop this shit. Oh fuck, oh shit. You know, I'm so happy that Beneil won. He's my favorite fighter. I was so afraid when he was dropped. Yeah. I didn't know too much about Beneil Dariush, but I thought it was really cool that he was on a I thought it was really cool. I thought it was really cool. I thought it was really cool that he went to Dubai. He went to an Abu Dhabi card. And he won, and he was like, oh, by the way, Jesus, you know, he did that in a Muslim country on a card that was supposed to be like jacking Muslims off and shit like that, because that's what those cards are in the Middle East. Is the sheikhs give Dana White a shit ton of money to jack them off via having cards with a bunch of Dagestani wrestlers on it who come in and they beat the infidels that they're paired up with because they were given easy fights, so that the Muslims can be like, oh, blah, 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 so that they can do that, you know? It's like I said, it's one of my most esoteric, like, fight game, it's one of my most esoteric fight, jeez, fucking, Weili Zhang is definitely into girls. She is definitely into girls. Anyway, what was I gonna say? But yeah, fuck, what was I gonna say? I got distracted by Weili Zhang because it's just like anytime you see her on camera, it's just like, what the fuck? Holy shit, what's that Chinese guy doing? Anyway, fuck, what was I? Oh yeah. Well, I talk about it every now and again. One of my most esoteric, like, fight conspiracy theories is that the Muslims are trying to infiltrate MMA as a means to market themselves. Obviously not like, you know, market themselves like, you know, building my personal brand or anything like that. What I mean by that is they are trying to prove something. They're trying to prove that Allah is all powerful and Muhammad is totally not a kid fucker, and you should be a Muslim. You know, that's what they're trying to do. It's a racial, in some cases, supremacist, like, conspiracy among a bunch of dudes in the Middle East who want to try and push Islam, you know, is what it ends up being. But yeah, anyway, I gotta make a video on that someday. But if it doesn't just get demonetized, it's gonna end up getting fucking whatever it's called. It's gonna end up getting it's gonna end up getting taken down. Maybe somebody said, as someone who worked and cleaned bathrooms in retail in a neighborhood full of Brazilians, I can confirm that Brazil struggles with toilet paper. Yeah.
We don't struggle.
Huh?
We don't struggle.
Oh, so you guys do it proudly? You're like, clean up my shit paper. Clean it up. Clean up my shit paper. Man. All right, so. Oh, no, this isn't a tale of the tape. They're just talking about Max Holloway is what they're doing. It seems like they're doing a BMF belt between Max Holloway and what's his face, Dustin Poirier. Which, truth be told, yeah, I would probably, you know, I'd probably be willing to do that. you know, meaning willing to watch that. The the mounds I had to deal with, says Joe Butt Slasher. Dude, Max Holloway's been fighting so long. You used to be able to have sponsors on your shorts back then. It's always crazy to see that in the highlight reel of somebody when like they have tap out on their shorts and shit like that, you know. Oh, look at the kitty. Dude, my dog today, he saw a female dog, a bitch. I was you know what, baby? I have a feeling what happened is your mom took him out, went for a walk. He saw the dog, came back in, was like, "Oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit." I took him for a walk because that's what he was bitching for. Because that's what happened earlier, right? My mother-in-law is visiting, and she took my dog for a walk, right? And the dog comes back in, and usually after a walk, he chills. He's just like, all right, whatever. But this time, he was like freaking out. He was like not shutting up, and we were like, what the hell is going on? So I decide after a minute of like trying to figure out what it is that he just wants to go for another walk. I was like, that's weird. All right, whatever. But I guess I could take him for a walk. It's cool. So I grab the yeah, it's for the BMF belt. Um, I grab the leash, I take him out, and sure enough, that same dog that he saw earlier is being walked by its owner. And it's a female dog, I guess, because the guy was like, she thinks every dog wants to play with her. And my dog is a male dog. And we fucking like, I literally had to like drag him like a motherfucker for like mad time. He just kept trying to get over to where he saw that guy and his dog go, and like he just would not stop. He would not stop, and it made it worse because as I was going back into my place, we walk by them again. Like the owner and the dog are just chilling there while like the owner talks to somebody else. And when I pull my dog into the place into my building, he tried to like push the door open again. He tried to get back outside. You know, he was like pushing the door open with his head. And I was like, yo, what the fuck? And I bring him back upstairs. And he was breathing as fast as I have ever seen a dog breathe in his entire life. He was literally like, like it was fucking insane. And he was like that for like a half hour, 45 minutes after. He would not fucking stop. You know, it was so insane the way he was. You know, he really wanted that fucking dog, dude. He had tunnel vision for the bitch. Tunnel vision for the bitches. You know, that shit's fucking crazy. All right, so I believe it's Brandon Royval, I believe versus I forget what the last guy's name is, but he's from Myanmar, which is interesting, you know. Oh man, I'm wondering if there's any updates on the fish tank site. His last name is Van. Dude, like, my back is fucking hurting. I don't know why. It's really annoying, though. It's really annoying. Really annoying, I have to say. When your dog gets like that, it's good policy as a pet owner to let your male dog relieve his carnal urges with your wife. It's natural and healthy. Dude, he tries to hump everyone except for me because he knows I'll kick his ass. It's fucking insane. Anywho. I forgot fish tank was a thing for a while. You mean like after this situation? You mean with this whole situation? Um or did you mean in general, like you haven't watched Fish Tank for a while? If your back hurts, do those push-ups. Nice try. Nice try, Joe Butt Slasher. I will do them. I will do them, but later when I'm not drinking like that, like a motherfucker. Feels like they're taking a while with this walkout. They're just showing Van vibing right now. Here it is. Here's the other guy.
Roy Ball.
What even happened with Fish Tank? Did they get arrested? Nah, they just got kicked out of a couple of houses for some stupid bullshit. You know, I don't have any information. I'm on the Blood Games 2 team. That's all. That's all. That's it. I don't know what's going on with season 4. Um I'm making a point to know as little as I possibly can beyond certain curiosities that I may have every now and again. This is the sword I'm going to be using in Blood Games 2. Yeah, I make sure to I try not to ask too many questions. There are some things where I'm like curious, but I won't even ask people directly, meaning like Jet Sam or anything like that. I might ask somebody else like, "Yo, so how's it going over there?" And if somebody tells me something, great. If not, whatever. But I would never share information like that. I would never leak info that I do have, which I don't have any. I just don't have any. Oh, so Brandon Royval is ranked number 1 in whichever division this is. I would assume it's probably like bantamweight. He looks like he could be a bantamweight, if not a featherweight. Fish Tank kind of fell off my radar after B Tank. I would assume you mean Bitch Tank. Yeah, I mean, season 3. I got to be honest with you. In my opinion, it's probably the most forgettable season. Um, the famous house gaslight was legendary. I think it was a very, very good thing, a very, very fun thing. Um, but when it comes to the season as a whole, I think it was a very forgettable season. Even season 4 right now, like season 4 is having some disaster right now. There's some disaster going on. Yes, we have a number 1 ranked versus a number 12 ranked. Okay, that's interesting. It's interesting to see. Um, but yeah, like fuck, what was I gonna say? How can you forget Bird? Oh yeah, and that's part of the reason why is the cast was the weakest, you know. Every now and again I'll remember like Binks and Mizzy are around and stuff like that. I never check in on them. I just remember, oh yeah, I wonder what Binks is up to. Wonder what Mizzy is up to. I'm not really interested in watching Alex be fucking weird on stream like that. I don't really care about Bert like that, you know. I don't wish anything bad on anyone. It's just I don't like. I have better things to do than to be like, I wonder what's up. I wonder what's up with them, you know. And I don't think back to anything too major regarding them that is like worth remembering, you know. And I know there were some really crazy things that did happen, you know, Alex B and his wife and stuff like that. That was really fucking crazy. That was insane. Um, but you know, it's just as a whole, I feel like it was probably the weakest season so far. You know, there were a couple of nights in season 4 before things started going to shit. There were a couple of nights in season 4 where everything was just like insanely good in my opinion. Like the cell, you know, what's his face, Freddy dumping the piss. That was heinous. That was disgusting. I would have, if he did that, I would have fucking dragged his face on the ground. He would have I would have fucking mashed his head into it. But from an outside perspective, yeah, that's really good content. You know, um, there's a lot of things that happened with season 4 that even though it's going to shit earlier than season 3 did, it's gonna be even more memorable. You know, Freddy getting waxed, full body wax. Fucking forget about it. But anyway, we got Royval in white. We have Van in black. Right now, Royval is being pretty active. You know, he's a slightly longer fighter, as you can see. He's kind of using that to his advantage. Excuse me. An inner leg kick by Royval. This is also a what is it? It's also a lefty versus righty battle. Every season or Blood Games they don't have Scott in will be progressively weaker seasons. Yeah, that's right. That's how it goes. That's how it goes. They're gonna call it the Scott curse. Nice front kick attempts from Royval. Doesn't quite make its mark. Followed by a check hook. Doesn't quite make its mark. Ooh, nice counter. It was a left-right counter by Van as Royval made his way in. And then a double jab cross from Van that lands. Ooh, nice jab cross. Looked like the cross barely landed, but it did land. See, Van as the smaller fighter, he's got to be in and out. He's got to be just outside of the range of Royval, but still be able to move in to a range where he can land, and he's doing a good job of that the last minute or so, you know? Body kick by Royval doesn't quite land. Cross from Van, I don't think it landed either. So Van is using a stomping kick to the oblique, which like I'm not a big fan of that when you're fighting somebody who's an opposite stance as you, because a lot of the time you're gonna have to use your lead leg, and that can sometimes, depending on how you're doing it, which that time Van did it, it didn't look that bad, but depending on how you're doing it, it can be a lot of commitment for a strike that if it lands, it's going to be a really good strike. But it's like, you know, if you miss, you know, like we saw Amanda Nunes years ago knock out Holly Holm because she didn't do one of those kinds of kicks properly, and Nunes fucking lit her up for it, you know. Cross hook from Van lands, followed by another cross hook. Looked like Royval may have landed something there though. Looks like that cross from Royval may have landed as well. You know, these guys might even be flyweights. They look like flyweights, so you know. Specifically, Van does. I'll say Van looks like fly. Ooh, nice. Van switches into a lefty stance and throws a lead hook during the switch. That was nice, and it landed pretty clean. Looked like an accidental clash of heads there. Royval moving in. front kick from Royval. Ooh, there was a Royval ends up falling. That was more of a slip though, more of a stumble. So Royval's throwing a long hook, and there's been a couple of times where it either hasn't landed or it led to Van being able to close distance on him. That's not very good for him. He's got to be careful with that. Ooh, nice right hook from Van on the break from the clinch. Ooh, that was a nice overhand from Van on the way in as well. See, Van's doing a good job of moving his head and then countering with hooks. He's doing a real good job of that. You know, like one of those finds it's marked the right way. It doesn't matter how small those guys are; they will end up knocking. Oh, there he is. Our dog just walked in. You know, one of those things can knock him out. You know, Snoopy, 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 come say hello. Come say hello. Come here. Come here. Hello, 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 hello. Hello. That was the end of the round. Pretty action-packed. Pretty action-packed, I have to say. Of course, these guys are smaller, so when they land, they're not landing with the same effect as like even the last fight. Like if either of the last two guys that fought were taking punches the way that these guys are taking punches, that it would have been a very short fight, you know. But these guys are so small, they're able to kind of get away with it a little bit. Bitches in heat. He's a boy. Also, there must be a reckoning on Sam and Jet for not making Scott the star of all their shows. Burn down. Fucking. Oh boy. Oh boy. Hi, Ecuador. You see, they just showed a highlight of what I was talking about. There's a long hook that Royval is throwing that Van is able to fade out of, and then he's able to close in on him. Ooh, you see, there's that lead hook from Royval that is getting countered again. Oh, I'm like half paying attention to the fish chat right now, and half this. The booze is kind of getting to me a little bit. I bought like not the most expensive tequila you could ever buy, but I bought a higher end tequila than what I would usually buy, so I'm like trying to enjoy it. There's a cross from Van. What's that, baby? Oh, she's trying to get my dog out of here. Ooh, nice hook on the way in. You see, Royval is committing in a way that he probably shouldn't be. He's committing to forward motion when he throws, and it's not working for him very well. He's just stepping into the range so that Van can counter. He's got to let Van come to him. You know, he's got to use that jab a little bit more dynamically, you know? He's got to break it up a little bit. He's got to throw jab, then like double jab, then jab, break, jab. Excuse me. You know, he's got to go jab, hook. He's got to go jab, kind of lean in to bait he can throw a jab and lean in to bait a reaction, and then when that reaction starts to come, he can fade back and then counter the counter, you know? Like, there's so many things he can do. Ooh, that's a nice few punt. Royval lands a few punches that were hard that you could see definitely hurt Yan. What the fuck, Van? Van. Nice jab from Royval. Tide seem to be turning a little bit, though Van is still putting up a good fight. It's just Royval is kind of landing a little bit more now, you know? But what I was saying though is he's got to get a little tricky. You know, he's got to try and bait Van into reacting to things that aren't actually coming in. You know, or at least have an answer to that reaction. You see, right there, you know, Royval tries to get a little fancy, starts using the footwork, he single switches forward, and that just gives Van the opportunity to nail him, you know? Ooh, nice jab right up the middle. Yeah, so Van is definitely slowing down a little bit. He's not like slow yet, but he's slowed down just enough as to where you can see Royval is throwing for effect a little bit more. You know, he's touching him up more. You know, even there, he basically did exactly what I was saying. Is he threw a jab, and Van came forward, and Royval used head movement to dodge the reaction, and then he came with his own counter to the counter. That's exactly the game he needs to be playing in this situation. And then he did a really good thing by following up after that. Van, after he got hit, he was like, okay, let's take a second. He became flat-footed a little bit, and Royval landed another cross right down the middle, you know? See, Royval is a lot taller than Van. You know, he's got to use that. There's no sense in moving forward. He should be moving back, if anything, you know? Should be using knees as well in the clinch. The taller guy wins in the clinch. You know, if he can get a tie plum on Van, he'll be in good shape. This is a good fight too, you know. These guys are really trying to give it to each other. High energy, good exchanges. It's actually kind of hard for me because one, I'm a little tipsy, but then two, these guys are also so fat. Ooh. And Van does exactly what he needs to do. He counters a lazy cross from Royval, and he lands 3 punches off of that. Ooh, nice hook from Van as well. Looked like a jab from Royval landed, cross to the body landed. Yeah, these guys are giving it to each other, you know? These have been some good fights tonight, I have to say. Without the kicks, this is basically just a decent boxing match without the gloves. Yeah, I mean, I'm liking it though. I'm liking it though. Eddie Montero says they're going wild. Hi Ecuador says, yo, why is Jakub one of the refs? It's called tricknology. Low blow, LMAO. You were talking about the Jakubian, the box Scott for Fish Bucks challenge. I mean, shit. Honestly, like, I've never really given it to anybody in the tank before. I've always taken it very easy on everybody, which I can tell kind of disappoints Sam sometimes. But I also like season 2, the body shot challenge. Yeah, I could have went in there. I could have absolutely fucking murked everybody that I sparred with. I think I remember Brian. I think I remember Jimmy. There might have been one more person. Might have been Cole. I could be wrong. I could have went in there and I could have fucked him up, but like that would have felt mean in a way that I didn't think was good for the show at that time. Oh, fucking Bonfim is fighting Wonderboy Thompson. Fucking. Anyway, nice cross up the middle from Van. But yeah, like if they told me like, look, we want you to go kind of hard on these guys, I'd be like, yeah, sure. That because that's part of the issue with like the season 2 situation is I never really knew exactly what they wanted out of me, you know? And when I knew what they wanted out of me, it was like, yeah, but I don't know if I can do that right now because it's like the second week and they have 4 more weeks, and do you want me to take the chance of like seriously injuring one of them? It's kind of like that situation, you know? So like I kind of let Jimmy play around, I let Brian play around a little bit. Ultimately, I ended up flooring Jimmy with a body shot, but it wasn't even like a hard ass body shot. I think Jimmy was just like, "Fuck, okay, I just don't want to get hurt," you know. I just don't want to get hurt. I don't want Sensei to hurt me. It will remind me of the Utah program. Royval coming forward, throwing for effect though. I'll say that. Some elbows from Royval, followed by some punches. Royval is actually walking Van down now. Van is still trying to counter, but you can kind of see Royval seems like he's getting the better of the exchanges now. You know, he's not getting hit as much. I don't know if that's going to be enough. I mean, that first round I would say was definitely Van's. The second round, I feel like it could have gone either way. This third round right now, it looks like Royval is taking this third round home. So I think you never know. That could be a split decision, you know? Let's see here. We got a little bit over 3 minutes in this fight. And again, very entertaining fight. You know, I'm a little tipsy. Oh, nice jab cross up the middle from Van. You can see the head snap back. And then a nice cross down the middle from Royval. You see Van's head snap back. These guys are wearing the damage on their faces. It's funny, they kind of have the same damage on their faces. They're damaged in the same way. Bloody noses. You can see mouses under the eyes and shit like that. This is what MMA is supposed to be, dude. You know? Like, there could be some grappling, yeah. Just like the last fight, there was some good fucking grappling. Just like the fight before that, there was some decent grappling, you know? But, like, this right here is like two dudes leaving it all out there. You know, both of them think they want it more than the other guy. And no one's going down to the point that we're probably going to have the judges say, all right, I think this guy won, you know? Nice combination from Royval lands. Royval trying to tie plumb and go for knees this late in the fight. He should have been leading with that, if anything. Yeah, cross right down the middle. Ooh. Looked like a nice hook from... Ooh, that another nice hook from Van. Yeah, and even this round right here, it's like it's kind of tough for me to not give it a Royval, but even Van is still having his moments. You know, he just landed another right hook on Royval as he was moving in. Ooh, nice three-piece from Royval. One of them landed for sure. The other two may not have landed, but we'll see. We'll see. We'll see about that. Ooh, nice overhand from Van. Ooh, Royval goes down. I think it was a slip, though. I think it might have been a slip. He might have even had his leg kicked out from underneath him because Van's been throwing those stomp kicks to the... ooh, wow. That was a nasty one. Van lands one of those kicks I was just literally talking about, and you see, ooh, he landed another one and Royval went down. That is awful to see, dude. That is, man. Seeing someone's knee do that, like if this is the knee and it's facing that position, seeing their knee do that or like that is just like, ugh. That's awful, dude. Oh man, we got 10-second mark and these guys are leaving it. Ooh, Royval goes down. He's got to survive another 4 seconds, and this fight is over, and it's going to be really hard to judge that last round. I got to be honest with you, because Royval was consistent, but Van had his moments. Van, when he started having moments, he really started having moments. He was able to get some momentum going in his favor, and it was that knockdown might decide it in favor of Van. I got to be honest with you. I could see that knockdown deciding it in favor of Van, but I'm not 100% sure. I guess we're going to have to see, you know? Fucking man, that's crazy. Milk Hunter 69 says no takedowns. Exactly. Just like MMA was meant to be. Alex B or Freddie would have been the ones to not take it easy on. Alex could have used the humbling. Yeah. Like, if they brought me in for season 3, it would have been so much easier for me to be mean, you know? It would have been so much easier for me to walk in and be like a fucking asshole to them because um it didn't feel like I was being rude to one of my own, if that makes sense. A lot of these people were fucking turbo normies. And because of that, it's like, hey, like, fucking like fuck it, like Alexis is the exact type of chick. Like no offense to her at all necessarily. It's not her personally. It's just the type of chick that she is, where like she's a nurse. She twerks even though she's got a kid at home, on a fucking reality TV show. Um like always getting mad drunk and shit like that, talking about like I need dick from fucking I forget who, but she was it was Luca. She was lusting after Luca. She was like, I need dick from Luca. Luca, are you single? Like literally, like she was like that. That was just like holy fuck, dude. Holy fucking shit, man. Like it would have been so easy for me to walk in and just start absolutely trashing her as like a sensei figure, Like Alex, forget about it. Fucking Symbol, forget about it, you know? But it's like I said, I just didn't like that's kind of the story of me during season 2 is I didn't know what they wanted. And that made me nervous. And because of that, I didn't take certain chances that I could have taken, and it is what it is. Fish tank is fish tank. It changes on a dime and things, excuse me. What you need to do now is not what you might need to do in 5 minutes. And sometimes it gets a little like weird and confusing and stuff like that. Hey, it happens. That's just the way it is. But it did feel like I wasted an opportunity, or I had an opportunity wasted for me, I guess you could say, and I'm glad that they gave me an opportunity on Blood Games, because I was able to use that opportunity more wisely. I was able to do what I needed to do in order to make Cage a good character, Signal had some hands. Yeah, fucking. It would have been funny if you were on season 3 and the cops come and they're like, Scott, go handle the cops. You're Irish, right? That would be pretty fucking hilarious. It'd be crazy if the 12th ranked guy beat the first ranked guy. Well, I mean the fact that the first ranked guy didn't have his way with the 12th ranked guy, I think really says just how good Van is. I think that really shows just how good Van is because he gave it to him the entire fight. Like he really gave it to him the entire fight. It's just Royval started to come alive more and more as time went on. Either of these men could be Daniel's father. We just don't know. Hey, the world may never know, man. The world may never know. Excuse me. You should hard spar in bitch tank. Don't hurt the tard, but the women. Oh man. Fucking. Sorry, I'm just looking around, looking around at what I missed. Oh, it would have been funny if you were on season 4. Oh yeah. That would be funny. That would have been funny. Man. Baby, are you making more margaritas?
Yeah, whenever you want.
Yeah. Or do you wanna break into the whiskey?
No, it doesn't matter.
I'm cool with either. If you want to try the whiskey, we can try the whiskey now.
But that's gonna be only with ice, right?
Yeah, you can do whiskey with ice. Whiskey on the rocks. What we should have did. What we should have did was Robbie Lawler. What we should have did was we should have got shit to make a highball. We should have got shit to make highballs. Is what we should have did. That would have been nice. Would have been nice to try a highball for once.
Yeah, I'm gonna open ice.
I mean, you want to just rinse this one out? Thank you, baby. I love you so much. You're my best pal. All right, so I believe co-main might be up next. I could be wrong though. Yes, co-main is up next. It's going to be Alexandre Pantoja versus Kai Kara France. We got to support Pantoja because fucking cringe not Australian, cringe. Sorry to the Australians out there. Cringe New Zealander shit is fucking stupid. Like, watch, he's gonna do the thing like right now. I bet it would not surprise me if he ends off his shadow boxing shit with like sticking his tongue out and stuff like that. I'm waiting for it to happen. I'm waiting for it to happen. Oh. Oh, no, it didn't happen. Surprise. But then again, they probably didn't tell him, okay, 3, 2, 1, done. They probably didn't tell him that. How was it reffing the last match in season 2? I feel like they wanted to keep giving Shinji a chance to win. Yeah, that was pretty crazy being like right there in front of it. You know, I literally had the best seat in the house. Thank you, baby. I had the best seat in the house for the fight. Yeah, I mean, it was crazy. I almost didn't count Shinji out just specifically because when he, thank you. We got some blue label here.
You want the blue label first?
Yeah, I figured. That's why we bought that shit. We bought like a sampler thing because it had blue label in it. We were gonna buy a whole fucking bottle of blue label for $200, and then we noticed that a sampler pack with 4 of these kinds of bottles just happened to have blue label in it. And we were like, well, we want to try blue label, and it comes with it. And this isn't a small amount of it either. You could get drunk off of this, you know. I just don't know how to open it. Maybe you. Oh no, you don't. Huh? Or maybe you do. Nothing. I'm. What the fuck? Come on, baby. Oh, I think I might have it. I might have it. Blue label is not worth it. It's good, but not great. Yeah, like $200. I feel like no alcohol is worth that much money, but also like I got my black belt at the beginning of this month. I told myself that to make my black belt feel special, I'd buy a nice alcohol, like something that was more than just like $40 to $50, you know, a nicer alcohol, I guess you could say. So what I got was I got some Don Julio Rosado, some tequila, and then I also, like I said, I got that Johnny Walker sampler pack kind of deal, which included the blue label that I was originally going to get. Huh, that's funny. It has this fucker on it. It's not the worst smell I've ever smelled. I'm not a big whiskey guy. I'm definitely not a big whiskey guy, you know. But we're gonna go ahead. What?
Nothing.
Here you are. I have it has corks. Yeah, it doesn't have a screw cap. It's got a cork. I've had that sampler before. That's the only cork in the set. Really, that's the only cork in the set. That's weird. Change the title of the stream, Getting Shit-Faced and Abusing My Brazilian Wife. Please, she'll abuse me. She's gonna hit me with some plates. What she's gonna do. Better off be getting Eagle Rare or Blanton's. Oh, excuse me. Oh, you see. Here's that fucking bullshit. The fucking tongue out guys. It's like, holy fucking shit, dude. Stop trying to astroturf the Maori. No one is impressed by them. You know? Like, it wouldn't be that bad if they didn't try to astroturf it. It's like, okay, fine, that's interesting, I suppose. You know, that's interesting, I suppose. Fine, whatever. But like, when every time some dude from New Zealand is like doing anything, they have to it's like, fucking stop. Fucking stop, dude. Get out of here. You fucking idiots, you know? Sad Boy Ghost says, congrats on the black belt. As someone with a brown belt now, I hear a lot of people say that when they get their black belt. It never means as much as they thought it would. Did you feel that? By the time I got my black belt, by the time I got my brown belt, I was a little bit disenchanted with Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Not to the point where I didn't want to do it anymore. I love Jiu-Jitsu, but I kind of understand it for what it is now, you know, and it annoys me what Jiu-Jitsu has become. With like the Gordon Ryans and the Mikey Musameshis and shit like that. I don't think that was ever meant to be a thing. When I got into jiu-jitsu, it was still very much attached to MMA. You had tournaments around and all that stuff, and those tournaments had sport jiu-jitsu formats, but most people, they knew jiu-jitsu from the UFC. And if you were doing jiu-jitsu, you were probably getting ready for an MMA career or at least an MMA fight in some way, shape, or form. Now you got hobbyists who they get out of their coding job or whatever tech job they have, and they go and they annoy the fuck out of people like me on the mat talking about whatever the latest fucking move from some guy who's like a pussy has to offer, you know? But like even beyond that, like I love jujitsu. I like grappling in general. And I just kind of have a better understanding of the reality of grappling, you know? And it's kind of hard to explain. You as a brown belt, you might understand kind of what I mean. But like if you try to explain it to like a white or a blue belt, it can kind of like, you know, it can come out weird. Or maybe I'm just a little too drunk for it, you know? I don't focus on moves anymore, for one thing. Here's a good example. I don't focus on moves. I have moves that I can teach from each individual place, but I've gotten into the ecological approach recently, and I find that it suits me because as time has gone on, my focus has been less on, oh, hey, I need to know this move for this thing or that move for that thing or something like that. And it's more about positions and how I can hold them and how I can better utilize a certain weight distribution or something else to either keep that position or keep him from improving his position or something else like that, you know? My game has become a lot more general because of that, instead of being like, I gotta be good at rubber guard or whatever, you know, instead of being like, I gotta be good at the paper slicer from side control or something like that. Instead of being that way, it's more like, how am I going to keep the side control, you know? So in a sense, now that I'm saying it like that, I guess it is kind of position before submission, which is like, you know, that's a saying that people throw out there ad nauseum. But like it's not as well, if that makes sense, you know? It's like I said, I'm having a hard time with it. But then in addition to that, truthfully, like my black belt awarding process was not that fun. There was no test or anything like that. I knew I was going to get it months in advance. And even the speech that my coach gave was not one that was like fun to hear, if that made sense, you know? Instead of talking about how hard I work and how I've been a student of the game for a long time and everything like that, he makes it about how like he and I have had a relationship for a long time, and sometimes we get into arguments, but we learn from each other and stuff like that. And it's like, okay, I guess that's cool, you know? We do. I learn from you. I don't know if you really learn from me like that. I learn from you, you know? But like fucking like it's like it was just lackluster. It felt lackluster. It felt weird, you know? It it was just weird and annoying, you know? Not annoying necessarily. That's the alcohol throwing words out of my mouth that don't exactly describe what I'm talking about. But like it was just strange. It felt less like he was like, hey, this kid's a hard worker and he deserves it. He's deserved it for a long time. And you know, like he's finally getting it. It was like, here's something about me almost. You know, and it's like, man, come on, dude. You know? Um I agree. I got into BJJ to learn how to fight 12 years ago. Now at 30, it's more just to keep the weight off and not be a cunt to my wife. Yeah, I'm never a cunt to my wife. Yeah, that's not terrible. That's not the worst whiskey I've had. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Not the biggest fan of it, but it's whiskey, so of course I'm not the biggest fan of it. You know? I'm not a big fan of whiskey until I'm about a quarter of the way through the bottle.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'm like, fuck yeah, whiskey. Yes. Yeah. I take pride in the fact that my ancestors saw their war dance and just started blasting. Yeah, High Priest John. That is pretty funny. But yeah, most people's stories of getting their black belt is like either A, I had a feeling it was about time, but I didn't know I was gonna get it that day, or B, like, oh my gosh, dude, it completely caught me off guard. I literally knew months in advance because it made no sense to not give it to me that day, you know? Um, and I was given it instead of it being given to me in front of people at my gym, it was given to me in front of people who I don't even fucking know. That's another piece of it that was kind of like, oh, I had to wake up in the morning, drive an hour. I didn't drive, my coach drove us, but like we had to drive an hour to go to a sister school that is an hour north of us. And like these are people that I haven't seen in years. Some of them I haven't seen at all. I've never seen some of these people because that's how a jiu-jitsu school is. You could go to a place one time in like January and then you go back in December and it's a whole new group of people, you know? So it's like for these people who there's only like 2 or 3 people who are aware of my existence in the first place, let alone who know who I am. Like to have to get my black belt in front of them, like I don't want to sound unappreciative of the love that they gave me when I got my black belt and the congratulations, but it would have meant a lot more to me if it was given to me in front of the people that I train with and the kids that I've been coaching for half a decade now. You know, there's kids that I've seen who like they were in like kindergarten when they first started with us and now they're going into like the 6th grade, you know, kids who they were in like the 6th grade when they started with us, now they're sophomores in high school. I went to the high school graduation of a couple of kids who I basically saw become men. You know, I watched these dudes become men. I got them into wrestling. They got crazy into wrestling. One of them has a scholarship to a technical school now because I got him into wrestling, you know? Um, like that's such a beautiful thing, you know? And it would have been nice to kind of have that moment where it's like, oh, I finally got it to be in front of them, you know? And I couldn't have that because my coach decided against that, you know? And I don't want to sound unappreciative. I appreciate what they did, you know. I don't want to sound like an asshole or anything like that, but like that's why I say that that's one of the big reasons why I'm like, yeah, I got my black belt now. It didn't really feel special though, is because like literally like getting my black belt, the act of getting my black belt did not feel special, you know? And the whole let's buy some expensive alcohol thing, that was literally me trying to be like, let's do something to make it feel special, you know? Um, have you thought about competing? I did a couple comps last year and it did breathe some life into my training again. The only part I dislike about it is that you have to pay, and you have to pay a shit ton too. It's fucking ridiculous, dude. You have to pay a shit ton for a shitty tournament run by fucking pieces of shit, you know? It's just shit. It's just shitty. But yeah, I want to compete at black belt. I just got to drop the weight. I am literally fatter than Airsoft Fatty right now. Airsoft Fatty is in the low 250 pounds range. I am about 265 to 270 pounds right now. I have just not been able to take care of myself for years, and I'm finally starting to turn that around. But like before I was able to like get a hold on it, before I was able to really start turning it around, I let myself go to that point, you know. I'm still very athletic. I can still move. It's just I don't have a gas tank, you know. Like Airsoft Fatty's smaller than me right now. You know, he weighs less than me, but he's also a lot shorter than I am, you know, and then in addition to that, he's not a lifelong athlete, you know. Um so we have Pantoja jumping around like a crazy motherfucker. Unless you can get a super fight. That is one thing I'd be interested in because I want to I want to have a pro fight or two just so that I can say I had one. Um you know, and like the process that I tend to do is I'll go like jiu-jitsu tournament, then maybe I'll do a smoker, then I'll do a real fight, an actual fight, you know. That's usually the type of shit that I'll do. Um you know, so it would be nice. It would be nice to kind of get a cross between like jujitsu tournament and smoker, where like I have to train for a guy, I have to be ready for him specifically, and I have to go up in front of a crowd that is just watching me and him, and we have to roll. That would be nice, you know. I think Tap Out Cancer is kind of like that. I could be wrong though. They could be tournament format. You never know though. You never know. Joe Buttslasher says, I'm gonna hit the sack. You better do push-ups and vomit on your dog so I can watch the VOD tomorrow. Don't worry, sir. We're on our way. We're on our way. All right, so we got Pantoja coming out pretty aggressive right now. Kara France tried to catch him with a right on the way in. It didn't work. Pantoja takes him down, and Kara is right back up. You know, Kara France, I'm just going to call him Kai. I'm just going to call him Kai because that's his name. Kai tries to get up, but Pantoja drags him down. He has a back take position, but not a very clean one right now. Now it's a clean one. Now it's a clean one. And not just a back take position, but he also has a body triangle, which is not a good position to be in because the body triangle is a lot harder to escape, and it clenches down on your midsection, which makes it harder to breathe, and it's just more annoying. It just hurts more and stuff like that, you know? It sucks. So right now we have Kara France hand fighting. I can't tell if he's grabbing fingers or glove or anything like that. No, nobody's doing anything like that. But yeah, right now, Kara France is hand fighting right now. He's keeping control of Pantoja's right arm, which is going to make it a lot harder for Pantoja to do anything. In addition to that, he also has Pantoja's left arm trapped underneath his armpit, which is interesting. And because of that, he's sort of able to throw some of those punches that he was throwing. But Pantoja is able to get a little bit more. Pantoja is able to get a little bit more leverage on that. Last time I drank Johnny Walker, I threw up during a showing of Star Wars: The Force Awakens. I just realized that, and it was a little under 10 years ago. I'll tell that story after this round. Fucking, I just remembered. Shit, man. Anyway, so Kara France is still trapped in that body triangle. There's really no sign of him being able to get out, but he is doing a good job of hand fighting to avoid getting rear naked choked. And he is out of the body triangle, but Pantoja is still on top. He has an arm triangle in. Pantoja has the arm triangle. He doesn't have it too tight right now though, and he let it go to take the mount position as Kara France tried to explode. So right now Pantoja has the mount position. Kara France just trying to hold on for dear life. You know, Pantoja, to my understanding, is very good at Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Actually, funny enough, he's actually visited the school that I got my black belt at. There's pictures of him at the school that I got my black belt at, with the guy who you know, runs our program. You know, I don't know what the context of him being there was. Maybe it was a I don't know. Maybe it was a whatever it's called. a thing of a seminar or something like that, or maybe he was like a visiting black belt or whatever. So right now it appears as though we are still in that half guard. See, half guard and MMA is actually a lot better than side control because it's easier to control somebody when you're on top when you're in the half guard. And then in addition to that, it's kind of tough to know what to even do when you are on bottom in the half guard because on one hand, like you don't want him to pass to side control, even though it's easier to get out from side control. But like it's a situation where if you allow him to pass to side control, he probably won't even bother. But like you also don't want to take that chance either. Excuse me. Meanwhile, he's just like slowly just pressuring down on you, you know. Um, back when headbutts were allowed, Mark Coleman was known for taking you down, purposefully putting himself in side control, like allowing you to have the side control and just headbutting the fuck out of you. He was very well known for that kind of thing, you know? Hmm. I am kind of glad we didn't go with because like the more I drink this, the more I'm like, I actually don't know if I like this. You don't like it?
No.
Oh, it's a good thing we didn't spend $200 on it. Fuck. Yeah.
Drinking, but I'm like,
Yeah, it begrudgingly drinking.
I'm like,
Yeah.
no, the tequila is very good.
Yeah, it is. I loved that margarita that you made. I was gonna shoot it next. I was gonna do a lime shot. You know.
One, that tequila is great.
Mm. Oh yeah.
Worth the price. With that black blue label.
Yeah, I'm glad. Like I said, I'm glad we didn't go for it. Yeah.
I gotta mix with something.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying is like we should have got stuff to make highballs because highballs are made with like a ginger ale and ice and like I think there's some other shit in it. You know, the only reason I know about it is because there's a show called Moral Oral that I loved watching. Well, I yeah, you've seen me watch it before. I was watching it with you basically, not literally, but you get what I mean. Um, but yeah, anyway, oh, I forgot to tell the story of the last time I drank. I drank Johnny Walker Red straight, but I was gonna tell the whole story because it is kind of a funny story. But we're going into round two as is, so don't you worry. I'll tell the story after. I'll tell the story after. Excuse me. Cameron Covington, holy fuck, you got sexy, dude. Thank you, Cole. Thank you, Cameron Covington. Thank you, Cameron. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, I gotta run though. I was lifting weights, but all that did was make my arms bigger and like my legs more defined. That's all that it did. I need to run is what I need to do. I need cardio again. If I do cardio, I'll lose the weight like it's nothing, you know? It just sucks having to do cardio when you're fat. Nice jab followed by a body kick from Pantoja. Jab followed by a cross to the body does not land for Kai. This is a 5 rounder. This is a oh yeah, because it's a championship fight. It's a championship fight, so it's a 5 rounder. I forgot. Dude, people, they're just fucking dancing in front of each other right now. There's like nothing happening. Like there was a kick followed by a left by Pantoja, and then nothing. Couple of good kicks after a hand exchange from Pantoja. I don't think any of the punches landed, but those two kicks definitely landed. See, Brazilians have their own little style of Muay Thai that's kind of interesting. It's like an interesting concept, and like a big part of that is leg kicks. They're like really good at just laying on fucking leg kick after leg kick after leg kick. You know, like just like that. Like literally chased him down, landed a leg kick, and then took him down. Talking about Pantoja, you know. we got Pantoja right now standing up, and Kai Kara France gives up his back. He's got to be very careful with that. He was doing pretty good at hand fighting last time around. We're gonna see how that works. So he's up. He's trying to break the grip right now. He's trying to break the grip against the fence. You see, the fence can make it a little bit easier depending on what you're doing. Oh, that's why. Okay. Anyway, the fence can make it a little bit easier depending on the fence can make it a little bit easier to break the grips depending on how you use it, because if you lean up against the fence, you're putting your weight in a way that's going to make it a lot harder for him to lift you if he's trying to mat return you, and that's what you'll see some dudes do. If you're not by the fence and you're trying to break the grips, you have to separate your hips from his hips, Oh, hey. Nice body kick from Pantoja. You see, Pantoja's good at using his hands to disguise those kicks that are coming in. That's how he's able to land those kicks so well. And that's why a lot of people have trouble landing kicks in the first place, is because they throw them naked. Ooh, that looked like a midsection kick that he kind of bailed out on. I could be wrong though. We have a body lock from Kai Kara France, and he tried to go for a takedown, an outside trip, but it just didn't work. So now Pantoja is up against the cage, throwing some punches off the cage. And, now Pantoja reverses position, is down on a single leg, double leg actually, but he was able to lift one leg. He couldn't finish, though. I don't know what Kai is doing, but he keeps changing levels in a way that's very dangerous for him, including Pantoja just threw a lead leg knee, which is a really weird thing to do. There was a small step there, but I think the reason he threw that lead leg knee is because exactly for that reason. He just landed a knee on Kara France as Kara France was level changing. He timed that level change, and he almost ended up nailing him in the head, Dude, your stream is so behind and I'm using Stream East, really? Oh, yeah, that was a nice teat. Fuck. How behind is my stream? Because I mean, you should check the YouTube stream. Honestly, you should definitely check the YouTube stream to make sure that the YouTube stream is not behind. But what was I gonna say? Yeah, because I'm literally watching Fight Pass right now. I mean, I don't know. Maybe Fight Pass is behind for me. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe not. Who knows though? But yeah, anyway, the story of the last time I drank Johnny Walker. So it was the year that I turned 21. I had a fight a week after I turned 21, so I couldn't drink. And for Christmas that year, I was gifted a gift card to a liquor store by my aunt. So I went there and I bought a bottle of Johnny Walker Red, and I was drinking it Christmas night. I was at my boy's house. It was after I went to, everywhere with my family and shit like that. And at like 11 p.m., my friend walks into my other boy's house and is like, yo, who wants to go see The Force Unleashed? Or The Force Awakens or some shit like that, excuse me. And I swing around in my fucking chair. I'm like 3/4 of the way through this bottle. And I'm like, I do. Fucking, ooh. This fight's exciting right now. I'll tell the rest of the story later. Both swinging for the fences here. Pretty big exchanges. We have Pantoja taking the back here in a standing position. He's trying his best to bring it down. Dude, what the fuck is going on out there? Somebody making a lot of noise in our kitchen at 12:23 a.m. The perfect time to start slamming shit around. Anyway. So we now have just about a back take from Pantoja. Oh, and he's got that body triangle. So this is a repeat of round 1 right now, playing out in round 3. Kai Kara France has to be very careful to not get whatever it's called, to not get rear naked choked. Let's be honest, all that haka dance stuff is very corny, not a good look doing that stuff, then getting your ass kicked. Yeah, definitely not. You see, it's performative, you know. It's performative. The thing about tribal warfare is that it's always very performative a lot of the time. Rear naked choke, rear naked choke. He's trying to peel it. He's trying to peel the hand. It's not working quite well though. We might be at the end here. It is underneath the chin. It is definitely underneath the chin now. Kai Kara France trying his best to peel the and there is the tap. There is the tap. Anyway, yeah, it's performative is the issue, you know. The idea of total war just being like two groups of people fight to the death is a relatively new concept, and it is very European. Everywhere else you go where tribal warfare is or was a big deal, there is a certain piece of it that is very performative, where there is like an etiquette that goes where both armies show up. Armies meaning like a couple hundred dudes each tops, you know, and one side starts off with their haka. They do their whoo whoo their fucking bullshit, and then like after they're done, the other side does theirs, and then it's like, all right, the two sides converge and they fight. Japan even had an example of that where like you know, like the early days of the samurai was basically like a one-on-one, it was very formalized. It was very formalized. It was very one-on-one. You had your guy that you were fighting with, and if you did happen to kill him, great. If not, well, at the very least you fought hard and you showed your valor and all that other stuff. Even European warfare, which Europe is the best at warfare. Like Europeans are just the best at it, you know. Even European warfare had a certain etiquette for a long time, where like the two armies might show up on a field, and the commanders would ride out and see if they couldn't bargain with each other and be like, "Look, like, you see how many guys I got? You see how many guys you got? We're gonna fucking kill you if we do this. We gotta like fucking, you know." You don't want to do it, man. Just leave. Just fucking leave. You know, we'll let you go. Just leave and give us some money or give us the land or whatever, you know. Even that was a thing before a lot of European battles, you know. Um, but like that's where the haka comes from, is like it's performative tribal warfare bullshit where people are not really fighting because they're like, yes, let's totally 100% do this and like kill the other guys, but more so because it's about trying to show valor and stuff like that. Um, the Native Americans were kind of like a cross between both, to my understanding, because I know they had war dances and stuff like that, like war shit, but like at the same time, I don't think they ever did that in front of each other. I don't think that was a thing. I think it was like, no, we're gonna kill these guys. You know, they definitely 100% like they genocided each other. You know, so I think they're actually an exception to that rule, if anything. But even then, they still had their cringe like war dance bullshit. You know, excuse me. Um, Pantoja has had a great run at flyweight. He honestly deserves a champion versus champion with Merab. Yeah, that would be an interesting one. He does have some pretty damn good grappling. I'm wondering if he would be able to neutralize Merab's grappling. Merab is like crazy though. The haka doesn't stand up to muskets. There's a reason why Britain conquered New Zealand. Exactly, you know. I bet the ancient Irish had a haka. It's lost. It's lost to history. That's exactly what it was. Excuse me. All right, so Pantoja winner by rear naked choke. that means up next is our main event, ladies and gentlemen, the moment we have all been waiting for. But anyway, so I buy that shit. I'm drinking it straight. All right. I'm drinking it straight and I'm drinking it fast. And I'm also smoking weed in addition to drinking that shit fast. And nobody else is drinking it. I offered to people, but they were like, nah, it's cool. It's cool. Nah, it's good. It's good. I'm all good. So I'm like 3/4 of the way through that bottle and my friend walks in and he's like, hey, who wants to go see The Force Awakens? I'm like, I do. And as soon as I go to get in the car, I immediately start getting the spins a little bit. And I had to like close my eyes and look down like that. I had to like close my eyes and tilt my head like that and like hold my head in my hands just to make sure I was like all good for the car ride over. And I had this bag, right? I had this fucking bag with I'll be honest with you. After seeing after seeing Van, why are they standing like that? Why are they standing like that with each other? That's so weird. They're just like they're standing in an intersecting way like that. That's they're like this looking that way and that way. That's so fucking strange. But anyway, what was I gonna say? Yeah, after seeing Van's performance, I'm impressed, but I don't think he beats Pantoja. I think he gets beat by Pantoja, you know? I think Pantoja's just too good at everything, you know? But then again, I don't know. Maybe he starts as Pantoja. You never know. You never know. Who are you pulling for in the last fight? I'm not sure because I like both of them. I like Topuria and I like Charles Oliveira. I think it'll be an interesting one. I'm hoping it'll be an interesting one, and we will see about that. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, so we get to the movie theater and I have this plastic bag with me, and you know, I'm a very smart drunk. Okay, so I think, hey, it's time to take this plastic bag. He stands on his fucking tiptoes. He's standing on his tiptoes. Fucking Pantoja's on his tiptoes right now, taking that fucking picture. Holy shit, that's crazy. Anyway, yeah. But yeah, I get to the movie theater and I take that bag with me, right? And I get to my seat and the movie starts. And I remember watching a little bit of the movie when it started. And Cowboy Cerrone. I remember watching a little bit of the movie when it started, and Theo Vaughn. Anyway, I remember watching a little bit of the movie when it started, and there was a point where she was like trading scrap metal in for like food or something like that. And that was the last thing I remember because I started throwing the fuck up. And when I was throwing up into the bag, I started feeling something wet on me. And I was like, that's weird. I wonder what that is. The bag had a hole in it. So I threw up into the bag. It went through the hole in the bag, went right down onto my lap. And then at that point, I was like, oh, fuck. I got to get out of here. So I hop out the seat. I run into the bathroom. I finish vomiting in one of the toilets. And then I go back. I sit in the same seat. The same fucking seat. Holy shit, they are dragging that dude around. That is crazy. Anyway, yeah, it's like sitting in the same seat, and I immediately just passed the fuck out. And when I woke up, the credits were rolling. The credits were rolling when I woke up. I got into my buddy's car, and I remember he had a towel down. He put a towel down for me. He's like, I don't want you fucking sitting in my car like that. Understandable. And I went home. I got dropped off at home, and yeah, you know. What's going on, Hathland Delwyn? Oh yeah. I mean, we can make a mixed drink with that. I'm sure it'll be better if we make a mixed drink. But there's a piece of me that does want to dump this out and go back to the tequila, which is a bad idea. It's never a good idea to mix alcohol like that. But also, I'm not like fucked up, you know. Anyway, but Hathland Elwin, hey there, man. Didn't see you were streaming till now. Sorry, I missed most of the stream. What's new? It's all good, man. How's the fight? Fights are good, actually. Like, all the fights are pretty fucking good. They're full of they are full of action, of action is what they're full of. And that's not something I'm used to with the UFC anymore. The UFC has sucked for a long fucking time, but this card is very good. It's very good in my opinion. Nothing really new. Nothing really new since last night, you know. But yeah. Shit-faced Scott, let's go. I ain't quite shit-faced yet. I ain't quite shit-faced yet. And it says, ooh, ah, up the Ra, said, ooh, ah, up the Ra. Ooh, ah, up the Ra, said, ooh, ah, up the Ra. Ooh, ah, up the Ra, said, ooh, ah, up the Ra. Ooh, ah, up the Ra, said, ooh, ah, up the Ra. Ooh, ah, up the Ra, said, ooh, ah, up the Ra. Ooh, ah, up the Ra, said, ooh, ah, up the Ra. Ooh, ah. I have a fucking song stuck in my head, dude. And it says, ooh, ah, up the Ra, said, ooh, ah, up the Ra. Dude, I wish I got fast food. I'm like, oh, dude, what am I gonna eat? Dude, what am I gonna fucking eat, dude? But I got some bagel bites, so that's good. Oh man. It was far across the sea. When the devil got a hold of me, he wouldn't set me free. So he kept me soul for ransom. Sorry, I'm just checking Twitter. Checking Twitter, seeing if there's any updates or anything like that. Topuria in 1, you heard it here first, says High Priest John. I believe you. I believe you, but I hope not. I hope not. You know? Jake Paul versus Ilya Topuria is the next fight to make after they both win tonight. Jake Paul's fighting tonight? Is Jake Paul really fighting tonight? That really shows how far influencer boxing has fallen if Jake Paul is fighting tonight. And I had no clue. Nobody had any clue. Oh, yeah. Fucking Jake Paul faced Julio Cesar Chavez on Saturday, June 28th, 2025, in a 10-round cruiserweight bout at the Honda Center in Anaheim, California. This is Paul's first fight since defeating Mike Tyson in November 2024. As of today, June 29th, 2025, the results of the fight are not included in available context, and further updates may be found through live coverage sources, which means they have not officially fought yet. They're probably getting ready. They're probably gearing up to fight right now. That was news to me, man. You know, this fight has gone really, really well. I have to say, this fight has gone very well. This card has gone very well, and if I was Jake Paul, I'd be a little bit nervous from a money making standpoint, from a business standpoint. You know, chances are that's probably why Dana White put this card on tonight, because he knew that there was a better chance of there being bangers, and then those names headlining a card would make people want to watch, as opposed to who Jake Paul and who was it? Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. Fucking how old is fucking Cesar Chavez anyway? Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. 86, so he is 39. He's 39 years old. Not exactly a spring chicken by boxing standards. So Charles Oliveira enters the cage at the T-Mobile Arena. The T-Mobile Arena. The Arena. He's done enough coke and drinking for 5 lifetimes, though. Who talking about Julio Cesar Chavez? Is that true? Is that true? Is he he has a sister, Nicole. Ooh, okay. Nicole Chavez, pretty cute. Pretty cute. He fought Julio Cesar Chavez fought Uriah Hall in 2024, July 20th, 2024. He fought Uriah Hall, which is such a weird one, you know. He also fought Andrew. Oh yeah, I forgot he fought Anderson Silva in 2021. All right, here we go. We got Topuria. Yeah, fucking. I'm looking at Twitter right now. Jason Miller said Pantoja looks better than the rest of the division, Van included. I don't know if the young guy is ready for that. Yeah, I don't think he's ready for it either, honestly. Well, I guess we're gonna find out though. Guess we're gonna find out. Sorry, I'm kind of vibing right now. I'm just that right kind of drunk. I'm just that right kind of drunk right now where I'm just vibing. So I'm just like, oh, dude, I'm getting lost in Twitter, and then I'm remembering like, oh fuck, I'm streaming right now. I'm just waiting for Topuria to get in there. You know, I don't have that much to say, honestly. You know, this is where we're about to see him fight. I thought he was from England for a second. Yeah, yeah. There was something. He's from Georgia, and Georgia has one of those flags that like if you look at it, you're like, wait a second, isn't that like the English flag specifically? Because the Union Jack is literally like multiple flags combined. You know, that's why the Union Jack is the way it is. Because you know, the British flag is literally the cross, the straight down and straight sideways portion of the Union Jack. I forget what Scotland is. It might be the cross, you know, the X, I mean. Because like Topuria, he fronts like he's Spanish, but he's really from Georgia. You know, he I think he was born and raised in Georgia, and then he migrated to Spain or something like that. That's such a that's such a stupid thing that they're doing. That's such a stupid thing that they're doing now with like the tail of the tape things, just having the fighters be like, there was one of them. They had the guys like that. They literally had them doing that. That was the dumbest fucking thing I've ever seen. That is so stupid. Just have them go what and or have it be a picture. Just have it be a picture. It's all good. It doesn't have to be anything crazy like that or anything. Just have it be a picture, you know? It's so unserious to see these guys like before their fights. It's like, yo, what are you guys trying to do here? No. Holy shit. He's holding those notes. He's holding those notes lately. All right, here we go. Here we go. We're getting to it. Once Upon a Time in Mexico was a dope movie. Good song choice. I've never actually have I seen Once Upon a Time in Mexico? Is that the one with the dude who plays Zorro? I forget what his name is. Fuck Antonio Banderas or something like that. Once Upon a Time in Mexico. Ah, yes. Yes. Oh yeah, it's a dude who carries a guitar with the fucking with the guns and shit like that. in it. Yeah, I've seen that. I've seen that. How are you watching the fight right now? Cable or streaming? I'm watching it streaming. You know, you can only watch it streaming nowadays. Screw it, let Patty Pimblett fight the winner. Yeah, just fuck it. Just fuck it. Just be like, whatever, Patty, here you go. All right, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Topuria versus Charles Oliveira. Holy shit, the size difference between them is insane. Charles starting off with some kicks, specifically front kicks, and then he throws a snapping leg kick, followed by another snapping leg kick. What makes me nervous is that Topuria is able to land his jab from all the way out there. He's able to step in, and Charles just kind of lets him do it for free. You know, you got to punish forward progression when there's a smaller fighter. You know, so Charles he shoots in for a takedown, doesn't quite end up where he wants it to, but he has double underhooks against the cage right now, so that's good for him. They're just kind of fighting right now. They're just kind of fighting right now, you know? Just kind of fighting right now. Charles ends up on the ground. He ends up almost being able to... Ooh, somebody's already bleeding. Somebody's bleeding, and it might be Charles. I could be wrong, though. Yeah, Charles tried to go for a takedown. He didn't quite manage it. Now, we actually had a guard pass. Ooh, a guard pass into what is looking to be a crucifix. He is going for a crucifix. Topuria is going for a crucifix. And Charles, okay, Charles has a leg entanglement right now. He has a knee reap going on, which, okay, this is not good. This is not good for Topuria. Dude, wow, this is crazy already. That leg entanglement from Charles is making it hard for Topuria, though he's almost out of it. Yeah, he's pretty much out of it. That was pretty crazy to see Charles get that. I don't even know where he got it from because the camera angle was a little bit tough to see. But yeah, Charles went for a takedown, and Topuria reversed on him, and Charles ended up on bottom. I mean, you know, Topuria passed the guard, went to side control, and was trying to work a crucifix. Hook lands from Topuria, but Charles gets the clinch. Nice uppercut from Charles. Just sort of I won't even say lazy. It was just like ridiculously smooth. It was just there. Ooh, Charles is out like a light. Took a couple extras too. I don't even know what did it. I gotta see the replay. But yeah, Charles got hit, and he was out for a second. It was a flash knockout. I don't know if hitting the ground woke him up or if it was the two extra hammer fists that woke him up, you know. But he was definitely out. You could see he went limp. He fell. And then, you know, by the time the camera went to him after the fight was stopped, he was awake, but he was kind of like, where the fuck am I right now? I mean, even that was kind of like that was an exciting enough fight, I suppose, you know, like for what it was, I guess, you know. Ilya wants Patty next if he wins, he says. Yeah, I bet he wants fucking Patty Pimblett, you know. All right, so let's see here. So a jab gets through. Jab, it was that jab cross, and then there was a hook follow-up as well. Yeah, so he was out, and then those two extra shots, that's what woke him up. That's why his eyes were open. You can see one, and then there was a jab cross. The jab missed. The hook missed too, but it was just the cross that did it. You know, that's all it took. Bang, bang, oh yeah. See, like, even pros make mistakes, you know? Like, people talk about keep your hands up and everything like that, you know? And, like, even pros make mistakes. That's just what happens, you know. What you gonna do? Fucking Paddy Pimblett. What a goof. What a goof. Dude, fucking Sarukian or whatever his name is kind of looks like Wendigoon. I just realized that a second ago. You did call it High Priest John. And like I said, I wouldn't be surprised. I was hoping it would be better. I was hoping it would be a better fight, you know. And like I said, it wasn't a bad fight for what it was. I was just hoping it would be a longer fight, you know, a little bit more back and forth. But you know, that leg entanglement from Charles was kind of scary to watch at times. You know, there was a moment where it looked like he was about to get that calf slice that he's known for having gotten once. And you know, I think Topuria was like, I think Topuria was like, nah, you ain't getting that shit on me. The way he turned and pulled his leg out, he was like, nah, fuck that. That was funny to see. You know, it's always fun to see much smaller guys flatline bigger guys. Yeah. I mean, Charles is what, like 35, 36, you know, maybe his I don't think his reflexes are probably what they used to be, you know. It's just unfortunate. Dude's been in the UFC since he was like 19 or 20 years old or something like that, you know. What was I going to say? What was I going to say? Yeah, like he was getting hit with shots he shouldn't have been able to get hit with, you know. He was letting Topuria in without any kind of like any kind of a there was no punishment for it, you know. Oh, he's a double champ. That was crazy. I I just said, man, that was crazy. I turned to see the chat, and Nico is like, that was crazy. It really was. It really was. You know, that was a highlight reel knockout. That's for sure. You know, um, again, like I was hoping it would go a little bit longer. I was hoping we'd get at least 2 rounds out of it. You know, if not like 3. I'll never complain about a knockout necessarily, but like, man, just that fucking short right hand, and then that short hook too, that didn't quite land, but it would have been real bad if it did. You know, bang. Mm, man, that's wild. Anyway, let Patty come into the cage, dude. Let Patty come into the cage. It's gonna be the funniest fucking thing. That would be the absolute funniest fucking thing to see them. Because Patty Pimblett, I don't think Patty Pimblett, like Patty Pimblett is not like Charles Oliveira. He's not as small, I guess you could say, as Charles Oliveira. Um, you know, like maybe even if they're similar size in terms of like their height, Patty's a beefier dude, you know, and I think that will make a difference. I'm looking at the Stoics right now. Oh, they're letting him in. They're letting him in. Let's see what happens. Let's see how it goes. Let's see how it goes. Baby, I have to have you translate the translators for me. I'm a Scouser. You're not gonna knock me out. I don't get knocked out. I'm a Scouser. I'm going to take your belt. I feel like I could do a good Scouser accent if it came down to it. Dude, it would have been hilarious. You know what would be the funniest fucking thing? Somebody wins a belt. They have one of those situations where a guy comes into the cage, dude takes a belt and just goes, "What?" Just fucking knocks him upside the head. That'd be the funniest shit. Yeah. Man. Anyway, yeah. Checking the Stoics. It's crazy to see Ellie below Aria, Seth. You know, Dariush is second, like, okay, fine. And Freddie. Like, Ellie is like it's crazy to see Ellie so low to the point where she's in second to last place. I wonder what did something happen? Did she say she's into black guys or something like that? Is that why dudes are like? Is that why she's so low on the Stoics? Because as of right now, all Daniel needs is 6 more fish bucks, and Ellie goes home. You know, Aria is on the rise. Dariush and Freddie both lowering. You know, fucking Seth and Ellie holding as of right now. You know, Letty you don't even have to worry about because she's not going home if she's got the lowest. You know, it's funny to see that Armand deserves it more than Patty, but fighting for a title, but Patty fighting for a title is hilarious. Yeah, that's the dumbest thing about it. It's like Charles Oliveira was not the lightweight champion, right? I forget who the lightweight champion was. I think it might. Was it who? Huh? Oh yeah, and he vacated to what, like fight what at 170 or something like that, I think. Yeah. So like they have again like Topuria versus Charles Oliveira. This was a gift to Topuria. This was like, hey, have an easy fight. Have an easy fight, a fight that we know you're gonna win. Even though Charles Oliveira again is no slouch, he's 36 years old. You know, this isn't the Charles Oliveira from like 2 to 3 years ago or anything like that. This is modern day 36-year-old Charles Oliveira who, you know, has been iffy for a while now. You know, it's like they knew what they were doing. They knew what they were fucking doing. You know. Not sure what Ellie did. She shouldn't lose to Daniel. That's for sure. Yeah. Daniel's a specific kind of guy. Hold on. I'll stick around for another like 5-10 minutes. I won't dip right away. We can talk a little bit more about fish tank and stuff like that if that's what you guys want. Huh? That's all right. Fuck it. Wanna have some whiskey? You wanna have some whiskey? My dog's underneath the desk. But yeah, like I don't know what the next plan is. I don't know what's going on with them. You know, I would assume they have some kind of plan by now. I would assume they have some kind of setup. They have something by now, I would guess. But I don't know for sure what is going down. It beats me what's going on. You know, if they hit me up, I could have tried to get something together for them because I do have like a couple of people that I could hit up to try and like organize something, but they don't hit me up and I'm not going to hit them up, you know. I try to be very careful not to hit them up all the fucking time. I did offer Sam help when he first announced it in the situation I did offer Sam help when he first announced the situation in the season 1 house. I was like, yo, if you need any help with anything, just let me know, you know? So if they needed help from me, they'd hit me up, you know? But I do have ways that I could potentially help them out if they came to me, you know? But it's like I said, they probably have something else that they have in store. They probably have something else planned that, they're just having to set up right now, Did some Googling. Oh, wait. Not sure what Ellie did. She shouldn't lose to Daniel, that's for sure. Did some Googling. Got nothing even on Reddit. Yeah, People probably just feel some type of way. Even now she's on the rise. Daniel is at 115. Seth is holding at 123. Ellie is at 125 now. So I mean, there you go. The best thing they could do for future seasons is get a warehouse and put the house inside it. Oh yeah, for sure. I think that's probably the only option they have. Truthfully, they'd have to have it commercially zoned, not near any houses or anything like that, in a residential neighborhood. And they'd have to try their best to build it out in a way that it's going to be like acceptable, just to keep everybody just to keep everybody off their ass, but he posted on his newest YouTube Sam Hyde show that dropped tonight. So I don't know what you mean, Hathleen. What do you mean by that specifically? Oh, baby, do you want to get the stuff together for shots?
Yes.
You're like, no, I was vibing.
How's that?
You were like, I was vibing. Here you go. You can pour that out. Thank you, baby. You're being nice tonight. For once. Yeah. There's nothing I love more than talking shit to my wife. Sam posted on the video. Posted what on the video? What did he post on the video, Hathleen? That's what I'm confused about. Smart Moron says pretty good event TBH. Yeah, that was one of the best UFC cards I've seen in a long time. Every fight was action packed. Every fight had something really good going on for it, Like you don't one thing you don't see a ton of anymore is good grappling, and you had some pretty fucking good grappling exchanges in a few of these fights, You had some like really good grappling exchanges in that first fight, and then Beneil Dariush versus what's his face? Moicano, you had some pretty good grappling as well, It was really good. I had a good time with it. Psych Ward Studio says Topuria is legit. Oh yeah, of course. Bada bing, bada boom.
We have to do in a big cups because we have these shots.
Yeah, I figured.
Yeah.
We left all the shot glasses at the old house, including the Maryland one.
Yeah.
Oh, that fucking sucks. Yeah. Oh boy. Okay. Thank you, baby. She gave me this shit was like I think $130. It was pretty good. I will say it was pretty good. Some nice Don Julio Rosado. I had a good time with it. That was sad seeing Oliveira go out like that. Topuria looks unstoppable right now. He's the only real threat to Islam. I mean, oh no, oh yeah, no, fuck. He beat Volkanovski. That's how he got the featherweight title. Yeah, no, that is, yeah. You think that's? Oh yeah. That's enough. That's enough. I think we're good on that one. Baby dolls. Drop your best boomer tales in the replies. I'm confused as to what you're talking about, Hathleen, because we were talking about fish tank, and I was talking about how like I did offer Sam help, you know, and I could try to put something together for them because I do know a couple of people who have spaces like that. That if they threw enough money at these people, they might be willing to let them use it for like a week or two, you know? Or who knows, maybe even the full 4 weeks that they have left or so. Um, but like what you're talking about doesn't sound like that. I'm just I'm a little confused. A little confused by it. Oh yeah. Are you you have one of these too? Are you doing a shot? Oh, okay. Here you go.
It's a big shot.
Sorry, you don't have to say sorry, Kathleen. I was just confused. You're saying I'm doing a big shot or?
Yeah. Ooh, yeah.
Damn.
She's imagine.
Yeah. That would have been real bad. Here you go. Thing. Yeah, I am. I am. Boxing best base for MMA confirmed. The best bases for MMA are boxing and wrestling. You know, like kicking in MMA is a lot harder because of wrestlers catching kicks and stuff like that. That's why. Excuse me. That's. I just burped up some fucking dinner. That's fucking gross. But anyway, fucking MMA is what was I gonna say? Like a lot of dudes don't kick in MMA the way they used to. A lot of dudes don't throw those hard kicks in MMA because they simply don't know how to. And what happens a lot of the time is dudes catch kicks and score takedowns on them, you know? So dudes don't want to kick like they used to. They filmed that I think they filmed that a while ago, Hathland. Yeah, I called in for that. I don't know if he used my my phone call for that, you know. I just told him about what I was dealing with in terms of you know, the boomer selfishness in my own family, you know, as a as a boomer story. It was a quick one. I saw the new Sam Hyde Show Boomers video on YouTube tonight go live, and Sam posted a comment on it today. All I was talking about is that he's still around. I didn't mean to interrupt your thoughts. Well, yeah, of course he's still around. You know, fucking where else could he have gone? You know, where else would he be? Where else would he be? Oh yeah. All right, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, what am I doing? I was about to do salt and then that. Actually, fuck. Was it liquor, salt? Was it liquor, salt, lime, or was it salt, liquor, lime? Fuck, damn, I forget which one it is. I'm gonna go liquor, salt, lime. I'm gonna go liquor, salt, lime, I suppose, or maybe fuck, shit. How do I do it? How do I do it? How do I do it? How do I fucking do it? All right, whatever. I'm gonna go liquor, salt, lime. Excuse me. Oh, whoops. That makes sense. Combat Sambo is probably the best base because it's basically MMA and gi. I think they do have some weird rules though. Is part of the issue. I do think they have some weird rules that you got to be aware of. But like, yeah, it does. You know, it yeah, you know, it makes sense. It makes sense. The issue is though that like if Combat Sambo is the best base for MMA, then like why aren't more Combat Sambo guys getting into MMA and crushing, you know? You have what, like Habib in his camp? Then other than that, it's just like whatever, you know? Same thing with Pancration. Like Pancration was like Greek MMA essentially, you know? But like you don't see a ton of Pancration guys get into MMA and absolutely kill it. It's because there's different rules in Pancration and stuff like that. You're allowed to do, you're not allowed to do, etc., etc. I'm going to do another small shot and try and do it the right way. I think there's just enough juice left over in this thing, too, that I can go ahead and, you know. Dustin Poirier talking about his last fight. Night, sad boy Ghost. Thank you very much, man. I appreciate that. Scott, I just had meniscus repair. How much do you charge for lessons? Excuse me. I charge $65 an hour. Is how much I charge. All right. Yeah. Yeah, that's not bad. I don't think that's bad anyway. Got any good workout tips? Been trying to get my six-pack back. Diet. You know, diet. Like I don't believe anything anyone says in its entirety. Like I think diet is definitely part of it, but also you can outwork a bad diet if it's not the worst diet ever, you know? Like that's my issue, is that I eat the worst diet ever a lot more than I should, as opposed to just kind of a bad diet. People say like don't do fucking sit-ups. Sit-ups are actually not good for you. Oh yeah, why? Why are they not good for you? Says who? Fucking says who? Some guy who wants you to pay him for expertise that you don't even fucking need because you had the key in the first place. People sit there, they're like, don't do sit-ups, and then it's like, well, what are you supposed to do? And they give you like 5 other things that they want you to do instead that all suck. They aren't fun to like it's not even about whether it's fun or not. It's literally that it's like you're sitting here and you're like, "Oh, like I have to do leg lifts now. Leg lifts are awful. They're terrible. And then I need the space to do leg lifts, you know? Then after the leg lifts, I have to hit the other part of my abs that I didn't hit. So I have to do fucking leg extensions, leg this, leg that. I have to do planks. I have to do that after. It's like, dude, get that out of here, man. Fuck that, you know? Who gives a shit, you know? Fuck that. Who gives a fuck, dude? Who gives a single fuck, huh? You know, there's a story that Michael Bisping tells. He talks about his boxing coach, and he talks about his strength and conditioning coach at the same time. And he would go to his strength and conditioning coach, and his strength coach would be like, "Don't bother running. Don't do running. What's going to happen is when you come here, I'm going to give you the exercises that we're going to do." And then he'd go to his boxing coach, and his boxing coach would be like, "All right, so are you getting your road work in?" And Michael would be like, "No, I'm not getting road work in. I was told not to run by my strength and conditioning coach." And he's like, "Oh, running's a problem, huh? I'll tell you what the problem with running is. It's free." Like, there's a lot of that in the strength and conditioning world, in the fitness world, and there's a lot of that in the martial arts world where like if the simplest, easiest solution is the most viable, well, that means it's going to be harder to make money off of somebody, because let's say push-ups were the best way to develop upper body strength, which they are a very good way to do that. Like if push-ups are the best way to develop upper body strength, you don't need to pay somebody hundreds or even thousands of dollars to make sure that you're like doing the best thing that you could do to get in shape. You can just do some fucking push-ups at home. So what you end up doing as a fitness professional is you start trying to put red tape or like mumbo jumbo and other bullshit in the way of somebody just getting the easiest thing that they could do, or doing the easiest thing they could do. It's just like legalese. That's why legalese is a thing. That's why the law racket, because it's not a profession, it's a racket. That's why the law racket is so complicated, is because if you were able to just walk into a courtroom and be like, here's what happened, here's why I'm innocent, then you wouldn't need to hire a fucking lawyer to do so, you know? They need to make it too complicated for the average person to be able to do on their own, so that you'll pay them, and you'll pay them handsomely to do so. And I think the same thing happens in the whatever it's called, the thing with the stuff, the fucking the fitness world. I think the same thing happens in the fitness world, where like there's exercises that are perfectly viable, that have been in use for hundreds, if not even thousands of years in some of these cases, that people have been getting jacked and functionally strong with, that like now all of a sudden they're not good because some fuckhead on the internet says, no, you got to do planks instead. It's like, get out of here. I'm not doing planks. Sit-ups are easier, they're quicker, you can do more of them in shorter time than you can do planks, meaning like you get a better workout with your abs, for your abs and your core in general, doing sit-ups than you do doing planks. You know, like it's just better, and it's easier to do it that way. It's just really stupid. It's really dumb. People are dumb, and they're stupid. Is what they are. You know, I bought into it for a little while. I was like, actually, sit-ups are not really that good to do. And then like I told myself I'd do leg lifts. I told myself I'd do butterflies and leg flutters and windmills and all these other things. And I just didn't. I told myself I would, but I just did not. And because of that, I stopped. Like I didn't improve with my core strength. So eventually, I was just like, "Fuck it, dude! I'm doing sit-ups. Sit-up like if it's between leg lifts and nothing, and I'm leaning towards nothing, I might as well just do fucking sit-ups. And then every once in a great while, not even once in a great while, it's like like a couple of times a week, I'll do the leg lifts that I'm told to do instead of sit-ups and things like that, you know? A lot of people are just fucking stupid, you know? Scott drunkenly finding out capitalism is bad. Capitalism is amazing. Capitalism is great, sir. Fucking what sucks is shysters, you know? I don't think shysters should be allowed to operate, you know? I don't think people should be allowed to lie like that. I think free speech does not cover fraud, you know? And there's a lot of different versions of fraud, just like there's a lot of versions of corruption that we don't do anything about because it's considered to be too small to give a fuck about, you know? Like when a cop trumps up a charge on you, or like when he pulls you over and he gives you a ticket for like some stupid bullshit that he should not be giving tickets out for, you know, that type of shit. But, you know, Marab did Sambo. There's new Korean guy. He's world champion combat Sambo. I mean, again, like, congratulations. That's two dudes in an organization that has had, at this point, probably tens of thousands of guys funnel through it. How many of those guys made it to a high level in the organization that were also combat Sambo guys? That's kind of what I'm saying. It's like, great, you know, Marab's a combat Sambo guy. Great, good for him, you know? But, like, it's just not, yeah, you know? Fucking, excuse me. You know, and even then, Marab, like you would think a combat Sambo guy would be like a little bit better at striking than Marab is. Marab is not that good at striking, to my understanding. Habib, you would think a guy who competed in combat Sambo would be a little bit better at striking, seeing as how combat Sambo is basically just MMA with a gi on anyway, right? As you said, Mr. Russian named friend. Like I get what you're trying to say. In theory, it would be a very good base for MMA, but like in practice, we haven't seen that many guys from that background make it anywhere, you know. And even the ones that have, it's like the only Russian that I really respect is fucking, and when I say Russian, I mean Dagestani. Like, when the only Dagestani that I really have that much respect for would be Islam, and that's because he is not afraid to take fights that are dangerous to him. And then in addition to that, he can actually strike a little bit here and there. I appreciate that about him. And he seems like a cool guy. He seems like a nice enough guy, you know? So I appreciate that about him, and because of that, I like him better than the other Dagestanis and shit like that. I think he's just better in general, you know? Fucking all capitalism is shysterism, no commie bullshit on my channel. Hi, Ecuador. You're lucky Zach or Neon or JC aren't here. I'd have him ban that ass. I'd have him ban that ass, dude. I can't believe. I think I was doing it wrong last time I drank them too. I was doing shot salt, whatever it's called, lime. I was doing shot salt lime instead of salt shot lime. And I was wondering why it wasn't hitting the way it was supposed to. I was like, huh, this is not as good as I remember it. This is not nearly as good as I remember it. What the hell's going on? Shot time. I was trying to give it a little bit more time, but yeah, I think it's shot time. I don't think that's the world's biggest shot, you know? I don't think that's as big as the shot that I took earlier. I just don't want to get too drunk too fast. You know, I am a little bit tipsy now, obviously, but still very coherent, you know, still very chill. You know, I just don't want to get crazy. I don't want to get crazy, baby. Haha, yeah. I'm gonna annoy the shit out of you when I get off of this. Oh no. Baby, you need to do a 24-hour stream. You need to. Oh man. Anyway. I'm gonna take this last shot, and then I'll probably get off like really soon after that. But anyway, so all right, slancha. Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. That was much better that time. Much better that time, that's for sure. Oh man. This stuff is good though. Don Julio Rosado. I'd recommend it, you know. I'm not an alcohol guy though. Is the issue. So I couldn't even really 100% tell you if it is like objectively that good. You know, $130 for this fucking alcohol, like, might not objectively be that good, you know. There's one thing I don't want to do though. I don't want to like I don't want to buy like Hennessy. My dad tells me Hennessy used to be mad cheap. But then rappers started talking about it, and the demand went up, you know, specifically among a certain demographic of people, and because of that, the price went up, and now if you want Hennessy, you got to ask a dude to unlock it, or you have to ask a dude to unlock the case that it's stored in, or you have to go up to the counter and be like, yo, can I have some of that Hennessy, you know? And it's not good. Like, I've had Henny before. It's one of the worst alcohols I've ever had. It's like the Four Loko of hard liquor is the way I would describe it. It's just that bad. It's just terrible, you know? Excuse me. Anyway, like I Remy Martin, same thing. Like it ain't 2015. It ain't 2014. Fucking nobody's listening to Fetty Wap anymore. I don't need to be buying Remy Martin or anything like that, you know. Like Don Julio, you'll see Don Julio commercials, but like also, you know, like this is not just like regular old Remy or Hennessy or anything like that. This is also not a cognac as well. This is kind of the thing, you know. It's a tequila. It's a tequila is what it is. But Have you ever seen the Hennessy commercial by Ridley Scott? No, I have not seen the Hennessy commercial by Ridley Scott. Let's look that up. Baby dolls. Okay. We're watching fucking liquor commercials. Hold on. This film is not intended to be viewed by persons under the alcohol legal drinking or buying age in their country, not for use in countries with restrictions on advertising on alcoholic beverages. Please enjoy responsibly. If you are under the age of 21, you got to do this. Unless you're Canadian. If you're under the age of 18. The making of the Seven Worlds. So this is behind the scenes. Hennessy the Seven Worlds. Should I do the short version or the long version? I'll do the long version. Fuck it. A Ridley Scott film. The Seven Worlds. Yo, I just remembered I got a big ass cookie waiting for me. That just made me so happy. So what's that supposed to be? Honey? What's there, like 7 ingredients in Henny? And that's why they're like the Seven Worlds, because they mean the 7 ingredients. Is that what they mean? What the fuck? I can't hear anything in this earbud. I think I need new earbuds or something. Hope to see Joshua Van get a title fight. He probably will. Wait, did that say spicy fudge? Oh, spicy edge. Spicy edge. Okay, alright, okay. I was like, yo, what the fuck? What the fuck is this? Flowing flame. Flowing flame. This is yo, this dude eating rocks. Number 6, wood crunches. What the fuck is this supposed to be, dude? I want to know what that rock tasted like, bro. That's what I want to know. Oh, I didn't even have the headphones on. This is what is playing, by the way, this music. And now that I think of it, I should probably keep the headphones off anyway, just because fucking, you know. Infinite Echo. Each drop is an odyssey. Oh yeah. Chocolate rock. That was my first thought, is like, it looks like fucking chocolate. All right. With that said, I think it's about time I get out of here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I had a good time tonight. I hope you did as well. This is the longest stream I've done in a while. You know, I've kind of been doing it by the numbers because I haven't had time to do too much for this channel. You know, 3.5 hours is pretty good though, I will say. Thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate it. I gotta do those push-ups. I gotta do those push-ups for Joe Butt Slasher. I gotta post them to Twitter or something like that. It's kind of tough for me to do push-ups in my room on camera for you guys, but I'll figure out a way to do them at some point. But yeah, thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. All right, I should be streaming tomorrow. We'll see. If Fish Tank is still up, we'll check in on the changes for Fish Tank. If not, I will be streaming for the thing and stuff. I'll be streaming for oh yeah, it's fucking Oblivion, the Oblivion remaster. Yeah, thank you guys. All right, I'll talk to you later. All right, peace out.